In a chaotic world where zombies were increasingly rampant, a young man leisurely gazed at the city, brewed himself a hot cup of coffee, and sat down at his desk to play games all night until morning, unlike anyone else in this situation. The reason he had survived for so long was quite peculiar. This was because whenever anyone asked for shelter for a night, regardless of whether they were old or young, male or female, he would not hesitate to send them to their graves to preserve his own life. The reason was that in his previous life, he had kindly helped a beautiful female neighbor who was in dire straits, but unexpectedly, she suddenly mutated and lunged at him, biting him to death. However, immediately after that, a system panel unexpectedly appeared in the room, sending him back a few hours before the incident occurred. When he came back to life once more, he immediately resolved to stay away from all temptations and start his life anew. Thanks to the system's functions and a bit of his own cunning, he successfully killed the addict who had bullied him years ago.
At the same time, he also knew how to use it correctly, improving his own abilities to become the strongest survivor in chaotic times. The opening scene was chaotic, with smoke and fire appearing right before his eyes. Thousands of mutated entities were wriggling on the ground out there, but a young man stood motionless, stunned, sweating profusely as he cried out, "This isn't good, quickly, add more sugar, this coffee is too bitter." Then he nonchalantly turned back inside, as if nothing was happening outside, then sat down at a table to play games with the addicts. They played and shouted, "Guys, I just watched the news, everyone has turned into mutated entities." "Damn it, Mom, what's wrong with you, Mom? Are mutated entities that crazy?" "Don't worry about it for now, it's just one wave." "Damn it, why are you biting me? Save me, don't bite me, I'm the marksman, let me destroy the tower." "Damn it, what mutated entities? What are you guys going crazy about? Playing a tower-destroying game, and all I get are elementary school students. Can't you escape your parents' control? This is truly annoying."
This young man was still leisurely sipping a hot cup of coffee, not forgetting to remind his remaining teammates. "Hey, teammate over there, your girlfriend is right next to you, isn't she? She's going to bite you." The other teammate panted in response. "Brother, how did you know that? Are you a prophet? You could even guess this?" "That's right, she's biting now." Making him so scared he almost cried, "What do you want to do?" After that, it bit firmly onto his middle leg and wouldn't let go. "Let go, damn it, let go." But he still hadn't forgotten his mission. "Oh, Prophet, are you pushing the tower quickly?" "Don't worry, I'm pushing. We'll definitely win this match." However, it seemed his real intention was different. "Quick, think of a way to save me, you bastard." And so, after a few struggling minutes with the situation on the other side, he finally completed his mission. "Excellent, didn't let down my teammates, we won. This victory is still ours." Suddenly, a cry for help echoed from outside the door.
"Lin Fan, it's Liu Weiwei, your neighbor. Please open the door." Then Lin Fan reluctantly went out to greet her. The girl cried out in a panic, "Outside, there's a group of crazy people. They bite anyone they see. I lost my keys while running away. I thought I'd hide at your place for a bit. You'll help me, right?" Liu Weiwei pleaded with Lin Fan again. Seeing this, Lin Fan was a bit hesitant and whispered to her, "I can help you, but you have to agree to one thing first. Please close your eyes first." Then Liu Weiwei complied and tightly closed her eyes, confidently showing off her cleavage, along with her pouting lips. The girl said, "Thank you, Lin Fan. You're so kind. I knew it. You'll definitely help me. As long as you're willing to help me, I'll do whatever you tell me." But suddenly, Lin Fan showed no emotion towards the girl, but instead gave her a few indelible tattoos on her neck. What's more, he calmly replied, "All right, I've helped you. This way you won't turn into a biting mutant anymore." At this moment, the system chimed. Eliminated a potential mutant, gained 1 point.
Lin Fan didn't hesitate, ignoring Wavy outside and slammed the door shut. The reason he acted so indifferently was because of what had happened in the future. He thought to himself, "My name is Lin Fan, not some prophet. I'm just a normal interior designer living alone, always living an ordinary life. Until an hour ago, everything changed. I kindly helped a beautiful neighbor who was in a desperate situation. Unexpectedly, she suddenly mutated and bit me to death. The moment I died, system appeared. The mutated apocalypse survival system successfully connected. Then I was reborn. When I checked the system panel, the information immediately appeared. Name, Lin Fan. Strength, 10. Just gained 1. Physique, 10. Speed, 10. Points, 0. He thought to himself again. 1 point added. Is this the effect of the system? Destroying mutants can earn points, so he went out, looked back at the woman's corpse being gnawed by the mutant, and then calmly looked at it as if it were a delicious fatty meal. Before the mutant could devour him, he cleverly used a kitchen knife to sever its head with a poker face. Everyone's neighbors, what's all the shouting about?
I just wanted to confirm how to get points. At the same time, the system board appeared. Eliminate a mutant, gain 1 point.
He looked down at the corpse on the ground and thought to himself, with her current level of completeness, she will definitely still attract mutants, right? After all, we are neighbors. I can't just leave her alone like that. But I also have to protect myself first. Just like before, I'll hide behind the door, occasionally opening it to attack and protect her. A moment later, even the system had to get tired of him. Kill mutants, get points. This young man kept grinding for hours without resting. It was truly exhausting. But Wee, rest assured, helping each other among neighbors is what should be done. I will absolutely not abandon you. After that, he returned to the previous spot, and suddenly found Wee was no longer there. Wait, could she have been eaten clean? This seems a bit difficult to resolve now. He turned back, looking at the pile of mutant corpses he had accumulated. If left for too long, they would definitely start to smell. The common area hallway. As the owner here, I must clean it up thoroughly.
Then, he fumbled around for rope to tie them together, then scurried off to find a pole to prevent them from struggling and escaping. Suddenly, Lin Fan noticed something strange in the corridor. All of a sudden, a giant shadow of a person in a wheelchair was slowly approaching him, accompanied by hundreds of bulging eyes and lumps on his back, which looked very demonic. As his curiosity arose, Lin Fan couldn't help but run over to see the person in front of him. He was horrified to discover it. Along with that was a sincere greeting. "Uncle Jang, isn't your house on the 2nd floor? How did you get to the 7th floor? Did you intentionally come to give me a wheelchair?" Then, he gleefully put the mutated creatures into the wheelchair, then carefully pushed them away with a happy face. He mumbled, "I was worried it would be a bit strenuous to drag them away to dispose of them. Uncle Jang, you are truly kind. Don't worry, I'll return it to you after I'm done using it." Having said that, he happily pushed them out into the yard in the dark night and left the wheelchair next to room 203 for him. After that, putting all the mutated creatures into the trash, Lin Fan couldn't help but wonder about a few things. Is it really the apocalypse? Although I still can't quite believe it, if I want to continue living, I definitely need to go gather some supplies. But speaking of which, are they considered wet waste or recyclable waste? Living alone really has its downsides. There's no one who can help me answer these questions. While he was lost in thought about these trivial matters, a knocking sound suddenly echoed down from upstairs, calling to him. By instinct, Lin Fan immediately turned to look, only to discover it was a bald guy with an extremely familiar face. It was him, Chu Zhu's drug addict son. A quick glance at his face and body showed he was very thin, truly the look of an addict who had squandered his family's fortune. Then he remembered the time the guy had self-destructed to the point of lying sprawled and dirty on the floor. Before, he had also bullied Lin Fan, stolen his bicycle, and when caught, Lin Fan had reported him to the police. Although he returned the bicycle, the very next day he beat Lin Fan up. Returning to the present, Lin Fan coldly asked the other person, "What do you want?" The guy stared wide-eyed and open-mouthed at him.
"Holy crap, this idiot dares to speak. Doesn't he fear attracting mutants?" He chuckled. "But it's good to be this stupid. I'm about to starve to death, so it's perfect to use him to take risks." Afterwards, he used a pen and a piece of paper to inform Lin Fan, specifically to order, "Go find some food and drinks, bring them here and deliver them to my doorstep." This made Lin Fan visibly annoyed, contrary to the cowardly personality that he, the one giving orders, had once enjoyed bullying. "Why? I won't do it." Upon hearing this defiant remark from the guy he considered a coward, instinctively he asked in confusion, "What?" Then he calmed himself down. This kind of stupidity easily provokes anger. He erased it and wrote another message for Lin Fan to see. "Do as I say, and I'll let you stay with me. When there's a chance, I'll take you out of here. I know a secret base." However, Lin Fan still flatly refused, standing still to provoke him. "I won't do it." These words made his veins bulge, almost causing him to explode in anger. He hadn't expected this kid to be so ignorant. "Then don't blame me." Breaking off his thoughts, he furiously ran in to grab dishes, pots, and pans, then threw them straight at his face, shouting, "Fine, if you want to die, I'll grant your wish." The pile of items was scattered messily on the ground, creating loud clattering sounds, simultaneously attracting the mutants, who scrambled towards him. Truly a smart move by the addict. Seeing this, he burst out laughing, taunting. "Weren't you very arrogant just now? What's wrong? Scared silly? Are your legs so weak that you can't even run away?" However, contrary to the addict's wishes, Lin Fan did not run away, but stood still, playing with the mutants in front of him. Killing one mutant earned 1 point. Lin Fan had asserted his position at that time, leaving the addict dumbfounded, mouth agape. "Holy crap, this kid is that powerful?" He excitedly burst out laughing again, continuously cursing him in various ways. "I admit you have some skill, but so what? There's still another mutant over there. What now? Can't react in time, can you? Any fool who dares defy me deserves to die. Die! Die!
Damn it! Lin Fan could only smirk, then grabbed a living mutant. That's right, there was still one. Then he cheerfully lifted it up and threw it straight at him. Just before the mutant crashed into his head, he had no time to react, only able to stand still and take the hit, muttering empty words as if they could help him solve the problem. He asked, "What do you want to do?" Out of habit, the addict immediately caught the mutant, cradled it like a sleeping princess, then helplessly let it tear itself into 100 pieces. After watching to his heart's content, Lin Fan then left in his beat-up car, not forgetting to tell him, "If you have any problems, just ask it. You don't have to be like me, who doesn't even have a friend to answer my questions." And so, a moment later, at the Shiku supermarket, Lin Fan leisurely paid for the remaining mutants in the store. Kill one mutant, get 1 point. Then, with an expressionless face, he went to get the items and paid the boss, who had turned into an abomination. "Boss, I'll take all these things, calculate the total." After everything was settled, Lin Fan moved back to his old parking spot, muttering to himself, "This supply of materials should be enough for me for a while. Moreover, I also bought some seeds. Later, I'll find a suitable place to plant them, so I can gradually become self-sufficient." Then, he held his chipped knife, broken from top to bottom, in his hand and assessed it. He thought, "It's just that I probably still need to find a few more convenient weapons, as just a kitchen knife is still a bit inadequate." Suddenly, the sound of a familiar vehicle starting up echoed, appearing in Lin Fan's mind. Then, he curiously looked towards the sound, asking himself, where did that bus come from? At the same time, on the bus's side, they were speeding away, running for their lives from the horde of abominations, relentlessly chasing them. The sound of the engine running had attracted the horde of abominations. The sound of the bus grew louder and louder, approaching Lin Fan, making him unable to dodge and only able to stand still and brace himself.
The sound of this car reminded him of an unforgettable scene from his childhood. His wicked stepmother always threatened to make his father throw him out of the house. That vile woman is dead now. When will I finally get rid of this thing? Just seeing it already annoys me. Yet the father accepted abandoning his own son, wholeheartedly obeying every word of that sour woman. Soon, he thought to himself, he's looking for someone to adopt him, which made her furious and scream. Soon? When is soon? Do you even care about this? Meanwhile, Lin Fan sat huddled in the back, hugging his teddy bear and sobbing, only able to silently cry for help in his heart. "Mommy, when will you come back? Daddy and Auntie don't want me anymore. Please come save Fan Fan." Fan Fan was so scared. Annoyed by the piercing cries of the child, she turned around and yelled. Along with that, she used violent words that made the boy cry. "What are you crying about, Dohon? Feeling restless and wanting to cause trouble again, aren't you? Do you believe I'll beat you to death?" In his memory, she angrily grabbed his father's steering wheel, snarling, "This is so annoying. Stop the car." The father immediately pulled over and stopped. "I'll teach this brat a lesson right away," she said, leaving the father no time to react.
"Hey, don't touch the steering wheel. It's very dangerous." Just because of her stupid, thoughtless action, she suddenly swerved the steering wheel, crashing straight into the truck in front, killing everyone in the car. Only he miraculously survived until now. Back in the present, the man in the bus looked down and kindly asked, "Hey, you idiot, do you want to get in?" However, immediately after, he cruelly mocked him. "But if I don't take you, just wait to have your organs ripped out by the mutants and die." Then he burst out laughing, while Lin Fan remained motionless, holding a chipped, blood-stained knife without making a sound. Seeing this, the bespectacled young man quickly leaned forward and asked the man, "Hey, brother, are we really not letting him get in? He'll be killed by the mutants." Then he started rambling about the teacher's instructions. The teacher said, "We must help." Before he could finish his sentence, the man cut him off by pulling out a dagger and thrusting it straight into his throat.
"What, teacher? It's already the apocalypse. I'll do whatever I want. You four-eyed frog dare to lecture me." Then, annoyed, the older brother pushed him down, despite them once being housemates. "I haven't liked you for a long time. Smart kids like you are all the teacher's lackeys. Now that there's no teacher to rely on, isn't it time for me to walk all over you guys?" Saying this, the older brother suddenly found it amusing and snorted, "Since you're so kind, I'll be merciful and send you down to join him." Then, the older brother ran off without looking back, leaving his classmate gasping for breath, flattened on the ground. Then, the older brother didn't forget to glance through the car window to look back at Lin Fan. This idiot even brought a kitchen knife with him. Is he really planning to risk his life alone against all those mutants?
Thinking this, the older brother felt a tickle and burst out laughing. Truly stupid. Although the incident had happened a few minutes ago, Lin Fan was still stuck on the second sentence that the older brother had rattled off at him. Die. I won't die. Suddenly, he remembered his warm, deceased mother. She smiled brightly and stroked his head.
Be good now. Wait until our Fan becomes a brave, bright and kind adult. Mum will appear before Fan. He furiously raised his chip knife high. Lin Fan secretly thought, I have made a promise to Mom. I will definitely become that kind of person. Then Lin Fan unceremoniously threw the chip knife towards the moving car. With Lin Fan's intelligence, the chip knife managed to embed itself directly into his brother's tire, leaving him helpless as the car lost control and crashed head-on into a nearby signpost. The collision caused the car to flip over, pinning his brother to the ground, unable to escape. It hurt so much. Someone save me. I don't want to die. He groaned repeatedly, pleading for help from Lin Fan, who was cycling towards him, weakly raising his hand in supplication. I was wrong. I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. I am sorry. Save me. As expected, Lin Fan looked down with a pitying expression, accompanied by a heartfelt response for him. No, you don't know you're wrong. You just know you're about to die. You're just scared.
Speaking of which, he happily broke into a slight smile. That's right, your friend is here for you. I'll be going now, so I won't disturb your reunion. This statement made the man scream in fear. What are you talking about? At a time like this, how could any friend be looking for me? As he watched Lin Fan disappear further and further into the distance, the man returned to his previous state, continuing his desperate pleas. Wait! Come back! Save me! Please don't! Suddenly, the student wearing glasses arrived just in time. He bent down low, exhaling a cold breath onto the man's face. In just a moment, the man was swarmed by a pile of mutated creatures, torn into 100 pieces. At the same time, on Lin Fan's side, after walking for a while, he stopped to check his information panel displayed on the system. The stats included name, Lin Fan, strength, 35, superhuman, stamina, 10, standard, speed, 10, standard. Unexpectedly, a voice called down from the apartment building, aimed directly at him. Hey, young man, please wait a moment. She hadn't expected that after just a few days of the world turning out like this, there would still be someone strolling leisurely down there. With so many mutated creatures at the intersection over there, how could this young man have gotten through?
Then she immediately thought of something else, but that wasn't important. Now the most important thing was that upon hearing the call, he instinctively looked up and asked, "What's wrong?" He looked at the little girl next to her and thought to himself, "There's another child who looks like she's starving." A moment later, when the other woman called him, Lin Fan didn't hesitate to go up and meet her. As soon as the girl opened the door, she knelt before him and pleaded, "I know this request might be a bit much, but please could you share some food with me? There's no food left in the house. My husband is also dead. I truly have no other choice. I don't need much, just a little, enough for my daughter to eat." He immediately, without hesitation, pulled out some vegetables he had just picked from his backpack. "Then I'll sell you 2 pumpkins and 1 winter melon." This statement left her bewildered. Huh? She couldn't help but wonder about the person's sanity. Sell them to me?
Although I'm very grateful that he's willing to share food with me, in a situation like this, what good is money anymore? Oh well, if he wants to give it, just let him. As Lin Fan was handing her the items, he suddenly looked curiously into the house. Unexpectedly, he saw a precious item right before his eyes. He hesitated and asked, "Ma'am, wait, is that—" Seeing this, she didn't hesitate to walk over and take the item down for him to admire. "This is something my husband bought before. He especially liked playing games, so he bought this replica."
Call me if anything happens. I'm always available. Her daughter couldn't help but comment, "Mom, isn't this uncle a bit abnormal?" Hearing this, she, the mother, was at a loss for words and replied, "No, perhaps it's not that he's a bit abnormal, but that we've changed scenes." After leaving the apartment building, he happily examined the sword, waving it in his hand. "This is a divine artifact that simulates the sorrow of the bone curtain. I saw it on the website before, and I've long wanted one like this to chop up the mutants. It'll definitely be satisfying." Suddenly, a scream echoed from behind him, followed by a woman in a nightgown falling from a height. "You bitch! Die!" She landed right in front of him, her entire body covered in wounds. Due to the impact from the height, her entire body was broken in many places, making Lin Fan stare in shock. At this moment, the fat man standing upstairs called down, "This rotten heifer. I've been teaching her a lesson for so long, yet she still dares to resist." He puffed on the cigarette in his hand, a look of regret on his face. "What a pity. I wonder when I'll be able to find such high-quality merchandise again."
At the same time, downstairs, Lin Fan stood motionless, observing the woman's body in front of him and couldn't help but sigh. Her entire body was covered in wounds. When she was alive, she must have been tormented and tortured a great deal. The despair, rage, and helplessness in her eyes were exactly like his mother's eyes looking at his father when he left. She died with an aggrieved expression, her mouth wide open, her eyes wide, looking very pathetic. Then, Lin Fan couldn't stand it, looked up at the apartment from which the woman had fallen, and shouted irritably, "Hey, why did you do that?" That action caught his attention. He looked down and couldn't help but be startled by Lin Fan's recklessness. He muttered, "Holy crap, there are still people daring to go outside on the street? Are there no mutants down there?" Then, he impatiently yelled down, simultaneously asserting his position in this place for Lin Fan to hear. "Who are you? You're not a resident of this building. This building is my territory. The women in here, I'll do whatever I want with them. What are you going to do about it?" Hearing this, he felt his anxiety spread to the other two, and he put away the sword he was holding. He knelt beside the woman's corpse, thinking he had to do something, otherwise the mother and child living in this building would also be in danger. Then he carried her up to the 5th floor, where that hideous bald man lived. He snorted with contempt, even claiming that Lin Fan was dirtier than himself. What is this idiot doing carrying a corpse? Does he want to take it back to abuse it? But what a pity. A corpse doesn't know how to struggle. It's not even as good as an inflatable doll. What a pathetic coward. He angrily yelled down, threatening him. "Hurry up and get lost before I lose my temper. Otherwise, I'll deal with you." Then he went into the room, put out his cigarette, and then opened another can of beer to drink. He kept muttering, "What bad luck. It's already the apocalypse and I still encounter such an imbecile." Thinking of this, he grew bored and didn't bother paying attention, busy with his task of finding his own toys. Whatever, I'll go into the building later to find some new goods, relieve myself a bit, and vent my anger. Just because the apocalypse had arrived a few days ago, his attitude had changed 180 degrees. He treated women like trash, trampling on them as he pleased. If it were before, he would only dare to look at these women, not daring to touch them. But now the apocalypse had arrived. I'll play however I want. This feeling of doing whatever I please is truly satisfying. While he was planning things, suddenly, from outside the house door, loud banging echoed. Although a little scared, he still had to maintain his role as the apartment owner, so he grabbed a baseball bat and went to the door, shouting loudly, "Who's knocking? Could it be a mutant?" He trembled, starting to look through the peephole. If there are still mutants in the hallway, it won't be easy to deal with. Later, how am I supposed to go find new goods to play with? To his surprise, he realized that the person standing at the door was precisely the woman he had just thrown to the ground. She stared with wide eyes, her face haggard as if she had come to settle a score with him, which scared him so much that he fell backward onto the ground, stammering incessantly. Holy crap, it turns out this was Lin Fan's trick.
He carried her up to the 5th floor, then announced himself as he opened the door. He knew he was in there. He let out a sigh of relief and cursed inwardly. "Damn that unlucky bastard, he scared the hell out of me. So it's that idiot." After that, he boldly threatened him. "Get lost. Are you crazy? Do you want to rush to your death?" It turned out that the reason he yelled so loudly was intentional from the start. He thought, "I deliberately yelled loudly so that later I can lure the mutated creatures here to bite that idiot outside to death, and I'll be safe hiding inside the house. I truly am a genius." Just as the last word was uttered, unexpectedly, Lin Fan calmly smashed his room door. He was gloating and laughing inside when the door slammed straight into his head without him realizing anything. Then he fell sprawling to the ground. Looking up at the person opposite him, he couldn't help but gape at Lin Fan's overwhelming power. Holy crap, that's an anti-theft door. This guy broke the door with his bare hands? Is he even human? After breaking down the other guy's door, he looked inside, seeing a pile of BDSM tools appear before his eyes. Leather whips, handcuffs, all sorts of BDSM equipment. He couldn't help but think, did he use these things to torture her?
Lin Fan casually placed the woman's corpse on the ground. Despite the other person's terrible curses, he remained unfazed and said, "This is my home. Why did you bring that corpse here? Get out of my sight. Don't cause trouble here." He put on a cold expression and said something that sent shivers down the bald man's spine. "Of course, I brought her here so she can witness you pay the price with her own eyes." As soon as he finished speaking, he lunged at the man, who could only groan, "Let me go." Unexpectedly, within minutes, Lin Fan had delivered 2 punches to his cheek and 1 eye, and also fitted him with a BDSM gag. The bald man cried out indignantly, "What exactly do you want?" Lin Fan calmly strolled down the street, dragging the man along with a dog leash. bringing criminals here to receive punishment. Isn't that perfectly normal? This made the man indignant, and he continued to bark like a dog, crawling helplessly after Lin Fan. Normal my foot, you lunatic. Let me go. Suddenly he changed the subject. Have you ever watched a mutation film, read a novel about mutations?
Hearing that, he looked down and replied, "I've seen it." The bald guy then got carried away, rambling about the disgusting things he had extracted from those movies. Normalizing the things he had done himself, he said, "Since you've seen it, you should know how to survive in the apocalypse, right? What should you do? Don't you think doing whatever you want is truly exhilarating?" Unexpectedly, Lin Fan pretended not to hear, pulled him up, then slapped him across the face, annoyed, and yelled, "Listen, are you stupid? Novels are novels, movies are movies, they are all fiction. Can't you even distinguish between fiction and reality?" He struggled to explain to him. "Who is it that can't distinguish? The apocalypse has arrived. The apocalypse is here." Then Lin Fan, without a word, shoved him into the gate of the nearby police station, causing him to fall face down on the floor, crying out in pain. "It hurts so much. I'm going to die from the pain." Suddenly, the bald guy thought again. How is this kid so strong? Before he broke an anti-theft door with his bare hands, and now he just sent me flying onto the floor with one push.
He rudely yelled at him again. "You idiot! What's the point of bringing me here? I already told you, the end times are already the end times. Those who could punish have long since fled. Even if you bring me here, it's useless. No one can punish me." Lin Fan chuckled after hearing that, a scornful smile. "No, you're wrong. There is someone." The bald man instinctively looked behind him after hearing that. He didn't expect the mutated police entities to notice him and rush at him frantically. Each and every one of them looked truly ravenous. Then he watched with amusement as this filthy, bald man was torn to shreds. Look, even though they had mutated, they still guarded this place, punishing criminals who committed evil deeds. The next day, at Huang Family Library, the meticulously crafted car, modified from head to toe to deal with disruptive mutants, was parked in front of a large house, accompanied by the urging voice of a man.
Get your weapons ready. Don't split up. If there are too many mutations inside, retreat immediately and don't make too much noise. The other person also replied worriedly, Lamau, wait for us to come back. He nodded in agreement after hearing this. Don't worry, you guys be careful. At this moment, a short-haired woman with a hot figure, yet exuding an air of nobility and sharpness, spoke up. Remember this, we are here to search for medical books this time. Don't let other things distract you. After hearing this, they all replied in unison, Understood, big sister. After that, they walked to the door. One person opened it, and another held a weapon at the ready. Big sister, it seems we are quite lucky. There are no mutations in the library. Then she suddenly exclaimed, Wait a minute. She then took out her dagger and lightly tapped it a few times on a pillar to create a sound. Seeing this, they replied, Big sister, it's safe. The other person then chuckled innocently, teasing her, Big sister, you're too cautious. Then Big Sister stepped forward and pushed the door wide open, while warning the young man to talk less and act quickly to find the location of the medical book classification.
Lin Fan unexpectedly walked out cheerfully as if nothing had happened, then waved and greeted them. Hello everyone! The whole group was so scared they peed their pants, exclaiming, Holy crap, a mutant that can speak human! Seeing this, Lin Fan felt a little hurt inside. He quickly adjusted his emotions and said to them, Hey, calm down a bit. I'm not a mutant. I'm a living person. However, Big Sister was still suspicious, stepping back a few paces and asked the person in front of her, What are you doing here? Lin Fan casually pointed to the book he was holding and replied, Reading, of course. What else would one do at a library? In his hand was the book Encyclopedia of Vegetable Cultivation. The person wearing the hat heard this and leaned close to Big Sister's ear, whispering a few words. Big sister, what he's saying seems reasonable. It looks like you asked a redundant question. Don't make him uncomfortable. Afterwards, Big Sister awkwardly changed her attitude and apologized to Lin Fan. We didn't mean any harm, and if we caused any disturbance, please forgive us. Lin Fan just waved his hand dismissively. It's fine, you can all continue. Just keep your voices down a bit. After all, it's a library.
Upon seeing the item he wore on his back, the punk immediately leaned in and whispered, suggesting that he had a brain problem. Big sister, I know the sword he's wearing is a prop from an online game. If he carried it around normally, I'd understand, but it's the apocalypse now. I suspect there's something wrong with his head. The hat guy, meanwhile, couldn't help but remain suspicious of him. What do you all think?
Could this be a trap? Big Sister, however, chose to let it be, ignoring the two different opinions. In short, let's keep our voices down from now on to avoid conflict with him. They respectfully replied yes. As they went inside, Big Sister couldn't help but look towards Lin Fan, whose figure sat upright reading a book. For some reason, she had a premonition that this young man in front of her was not to be trifled with. It would be best to quickly get the books and leave, avoiding any trouble. After picking up a few books, she signaled for her subordinates to leave. Unexpectedly, Lin Fan fixed his gaze on them and called out, "Wait!" This made everyone's faces turn pale, wondering, is he going to make things difficult for us? Sure enough, there's a problem. Big Sister remained calm, her face cold as she replied, "May I ask what the matter is?" Lin Fan then spoke as if it were the most obvious thing. "You ladies are taking so many books, you need to register them. These books are not personal property. Borrowing them requires registration." This instantly made everyone turn into statues. "Holy crap, brother. Isn't there something wrong with your head? Don't you see what time it is? And you still need to register? Which mental hospital is he a patient of? Across this entire Huang family diocese, it seems there's only thinks on mental hospital."
Big Sister still tried to appear calm as she asked him, "May I be so bold as to ask a question? Do you know what the situation is like outside right now?" She thought to herself, although her teammates had already told her she hadn't really thought he had mental issues before, but now he's not normal, truly not normal. He listened, then calmly replied, "Of course I know. Outside there are mutants that bite people, but apart from these things, there haven't been any major changes." The answer stunned Big Sister. "Are you sure?" At this moment, the guy in the strange hat shouted loudly, "Hold on, brothers. Do you actually know what it's like outside right now? Have you been scared senseless by the apocalypse?" At this point, he helplessly added, "All right then, you have your thoughts, and we've gotten what we wanted. No one bothers anyone. Each person minds their own business, okay?" He listened, then smiled faintly to reassure them. "Don't be nervous. I don't have any ill intentions. I'm just reminding you, it's truly very dangerous outside right now. In this situation, you surely don't want to cause trouble."
I understand. By the way, let me introduce myself, even though no one asked. That's right, my name is Fan Fan. I live in House 704, Unit 2, Building 2, Yangguan District. If you guys are in danger, you can come find me. I'm very strong. 180 mutants are no match for me. His words made the whole group stare blankly, their mouths automatically twitching into a smile. Then they all fled in fear. One person said, "Thank you. If we truly encounter danger, we will come find you." She thought to herself, "It's obvious. This person is definitely sick. Run!" Lin Fan saw this and was disheartened, speechless. "You guys left so fast, huh? I haven't even asked your names yet." Then he resigned himself to sitting back in his old chair. "Well, whatever happens, I need to plan ahead. To be self-sufficient in food, I must make time to learn about cultivation." Scene change. At an underground base in some desert, human voices echoed. "How strange. According to our tests, the cellular activity in the mutants' bodies increases slightly every day." The person on the other side heard this and asked, "Do you mean the mutants are evolving?" "You could say that."
So they are in the process of researching mutations, the person wearing glasses asked, clasping their hands. "I just wanted to know if it's possible to research virus antibodies, but the professor immediately confirmed that it's not. These viruses are very strange. We've never seen anything like them before, not even similar types." The other person retorted, "Do you know about zombie gene?" This question made him vaguely realize that the other party meant these mutations were actually people who had died and come back to life, existing in a different form. The scene shifts to Lin Fan, who was leisurely walking down the street, thinking to himself, "After a day of studying in the library, I've mastered the knowledge of cultivation. The empty space in this Yangguang apartment complex is not small. It's very suitable for planting something. So next?" Then he looked to the other side, and then shouted loudly, "Hey, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, respond. I am Lin Fan, living in apartment 704, Unit 2, Building Number 2. I want to plant vegetables in the Yangguang apartment complex. Is there anyone who objects?"
To his surprise, he didn't see a single person, only a horde of mutants rushing towards him. Along with them, other mutants were leaping down from the apartment building. Yet Lin Fan showed no fear. He stood his ground, willing to play with them to the very end. And then a series of information panels appeared. Kill one mutant, score +1. It turned out they were all within his sights. With that done, he no longer had to worry about mutants attacking his vegetable garden. Then Lin Fan fidgeted and tried shouting one more time to make sure. "Hey, is there really no one here?" Only then did he relax, feeling at ease. It seemed there were truly no living people left in the apartment complex. so he didn't have to worry about anyone stealing his vegetables. While he was leisurely thinking about that, this thought suddenly struck him. His stomach involuntarily rumbled. One must eat to sustain oneself, he thought. Before working, he should still go find something to eat, and while he was at it, check on the mother and daughter. Breaking from his thoughts, he immediately ran towards her apartment building. Eating as he spoke, he said, "The fruits, vegetables, and all kinds of meat in the supermarket are all spoiled. I could only get some instant food. Please, don't be shy. Eat as much as you like."
She said shyly, "Thank you." Then she shyly explained, "I know that no help comes without reason, and asking for favors always comes with a price. You've already helped my daughter and me so much. Originally, I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but my husband is dead. I'm worried that if something happens to me, my daughter will." Suddenly, Lin Fan offered, "Is there anything I can help you with?" She was stunned, not expecting him to agree to help her so easily. Then she awkwardly stated her request, "I want to bring my daughter to stay with you." After hearing this, Lin Fan seemed surprised, then asked again, "You want to move into my apartment complex, right? I can help with that. The apartment complex I live in is an old one. The rent isn't expensive, only about 1,000 to 2,000 yuan a month. If you really need it, I'll go to the real estate agent and ask for you. I know the owner there." This made her instantly look crestfallen, asking herself, "Are we really on the same wavelength?"
At the same time, in another place, on a high-rise building, a group of middle-aged people were gathered together. Suddenly, Ang Chen's phone rang. "What time is it already, and someone is still calling me? Wait, could it be a rescue notification? Has the rescue team finally arrived?" He picked up the phone, tears welling up from joy, when suddenly the laughter of the person on the other end echoed back. "Hello, Ang Chen, the house you sold at Sinfang Real Estate Company. I want to ask, can I rent it?" This made him furiously yell. It must be none other than that crazy Lin Fan. Who the hell is this lunatic? At a time like this, to make such a tasteless joke, he quickly hung up. Is he blind? Can't he see what the outside has turned into? Then he slumped down in despair. Everything happened too suddenly. If our place wasn't a high-end residential area, usually equipped with a strict access system, where not just anyone could enter, then we would have been dead long ago.
These past few days, everyone has been on the rooftop looking up at the sky, only hoping to see rescue, like a helicopter, for instance. But in these past few days, not even a shadow of rescue could be seen. Suddenly, the phone rang again, making Ang Chen furious. "Are you crazy? Get lost!" Lin Fan said in a dejected tone, "Ang Chen, why are you cursing at me? I just want to rent a house." Realizing Ang Chen had hung up on him again, Lin Fan sighed in frustration. People nowadays are really short-tempered. "It's okay, I'll just call him a few more times." But as soon as Lin Fan dialed the number, Ang Chen continued to curse. "Do Hon, what exactly do you want?" However, Lin Fan was still very stubborn. "Ang Chen, I just want to rent your house. There's no need to be so hot-headed." Then Ang Chen reluctantly agreed. "All right, I'll let you rent it. I'm currently on the rooftop of building number 3 of Fungtap International Complex. If you want to rent, come here immediately. If you're so brave, come find me." Then he happily told the two of them, "The other side has agreed. You two wait for me a moment. I'll go find him to rent a house for you two." This left the aunt bewildered, not understanding what was happening. Wait a minute. At the same time, someone from the other side came over and asked him, "Ang Chen, what's wrong?" "Just a fool." Then the guy put his arm around him and pulled him away. "Forget about him. Ang Chen, come with me for a moment. Let's talk about something important." After moving to a secluded corner, the guy whispered dirty words into his ear. "Ang Chen, I just calculated. The supplies we've gathered will at most only be enough for us to last half a month." Hearing this, he gradually understood the guy's meaning. Then Ga Xiao looked towards the other side and said, "Ang Chen, including us, there are a total of 15 people, 4 of whom are elderly. I think keeping them is unnecessary. Just kill them." He listened and then replied, "If we kill them openly, the others might not agree. After all, we haven't had any food these past few days. It was all shared by those 2 elderly couples."
Ein Sai, wanting to seize full decision-making power for himself. "Ein San, leave this to me, I'll handle it. Once I'm done dealing with these old men, we'll kill all the remaining men. As for the women, we'll kill any ugly ones." Then they looked towards the group of girls over there. Ein Sen heard this and thought it made sense. A surge of joy rose in his heart. That's right, only keep the beautiful girls. After all, no one knows when the apocalypse will end. Keeping them to satisfy our desires is fine. At the same time, on Lin Fan's side, he was playing a game of tag with the mutants. "Hey, you slowpokes, catch up. If I don't train every day, my body won't be able to handle it. The system information panel appeared. Name, Lin Fan. Strength, 40, super strong. Stamina, 20, quite strong. Speed, 15, standard. Score, 0. At the same time, wherever Lin Fan went, people looked down at him. Some curiously asked, "Who is this guy daring to ride a bicycle leisurely through the streets like this? Let him know we're here."
Suddenly, someone intervened. Don't be crazy. Where do you think he can escape by riding a bicycle? After riding for a while, Lin Fan decided to stop. This was the Phuong Tot International Complex. He couldn't help but be amazed by its grandeur and luxurious appearance. It was indeed an extremely high-class residential area. Then, he unconsciously glanced behind him, thinking to himself, "Those mutants are far behind me. Haven't they caught up yet?" The scene shifts to Ga Xiao, who is gathering everyone and giving all sorts of instructions. If everyone agrees, then just do this later. Don't worry, as long as everyone follows me and Ang Chen, even if it's the apocalypse, I guarantee I'll lead everyone to eat and drink well later. At the same time, a group of elderly people were sitting in a corner. This old man was named Wang Zhongguo, a retired soldier. The person next to him was Su Guifen, a retired military doctor. Wang Zhongguo softly said, "Guifen, we are old now. Survival supplies are getting scarcer." He also implicitly understood their intentions. Those young people probably want to get rid of old folks like us who are a burden. Well, I think we should just leave the hope of survival to them. This country, this society, still needs young people to build it.
I looked at him. On the other side was Chu Aijun, a retired military industry expert. Brother Wang truly had an open mind. Hearing this, he looked over with sympathetic eyes. Old Brother Ju thinks so too, right? We've dedicated our whole lives, and besides dedicating ourselves, we don't know what else to do. We don't wish for anything more than for these young people to live. That's the most important thing. Just then, Ajin's wife walked over and gently tapped his head. It was Lian Yan, a retired teacher. Seeing this, he became sad and said bitterly, "I only feel sorry for you, for having to suffer with me. I've suffered for decades already. Why would I care about suffering a little more?" She was right. It was true. At this moment, Ang Chen spoke up. "Xiao Xiao, this time we're lucky to have you. You convinced everyone so quickly." Hearing this, he secretly chuckled and replied, "What are you talking about? It's all thanks to Ang Chen's brilliant leadership." Outwardly, he appeared noble and benevolent, but deep down he had already secretly fought. "After dealing with these old men, I'll deal with the others, and finally, I'll deal with you."
Chen Gang, so all the supplies and beautiful girls here will be mine. At this moment, Zhongguo walked over to them and said loudly, "We already know your intentions. Don't worry, we won't take your supplies. You also don't need to push us downstairs. Such actions will cause a bad influence, and it's also a torture to your psychology and spirit. We old men can just go home and wait to die." The ugly girl heard this, strongly disagreed, and shouted, "We can't let them go. Who knows if they'll go downstairs, open the safety door, and lead the mutants here?" The crowd heard this and echoed her. "That's right. If we let these 4 old men out, who knows what they'll do? We must throw them from upstairs." Suddenly, there was a knock on the door from outside. "Ein Chen, are you there?" Seeing that the person outside didn't answer, the voice spoke again. "Ein Chen, I'm the one who called you before. I want to rent your house." Chen Gang heard this and angrily shouted, "Who exactly are you?" He thought to himself, "Renting a house to trick children? What era is this now? Where do you want to live? Who cares about you?"
Unbelievably, Lin Fan, in a fit of madness, completely destroyed the door they had painstakingly installed. He even pretended to be innocent, putting on a puppy dog look and saying, "Sorry, I didn't know your door was so flimsy." Seeing this, Ga Xiao quickly approached An Chen and whispered conspiratorially, "An Chen, just say it's for rent, then we'll watch him go downstairs, wait until he's on the ground floor, and then throw those 4 old men down to create a commotion. By then, when the mutations come out, he will definitely run to help us lure the mutations away. Won't our place be even safer then?" Upon hearing this, Ang Chen let out a cunning laugh and nodded in full agreement. "That's right, your mind is truly clever, and quite malicious too." At this moment, Lin Fan spoke up once more. "May I ask, who is Ang Chen?" Ang Chen stepped forward confidently and replied, "The house is for rent to you. You're free to go." Hearing this, Lin Fan happily replied, "Thank you, Ang Chen. This is the salary I received not long ago, a total of 5,000 yuan. It's a bit short, but this is all I have for now. I'll transfer the rest to you later."
Making him bewildered.
This person surely isn't a fool, is he? Then he waved his hand, dismissing him. All right, it's done. Stay as long as you want. Now go. Lin Fan felt relieved and left, silently grateful. But one person made him stop. Excuse me, are you Mr. Chu Aijun? Chu Aijun was surprised. Young man, you know me. Lin Fan excitedly shook his hand. I saw you on television. You were once blocked by foreign countries from weapon technology, but you personally led the team to overcome countless technical difficulties, helping us acquire our own proud weapons. You are a hero. Hearing this, Chu Aijun burst out laughing. You flatter me too much. Those are all things of the past. Suddenly, Lin Fan put on a sad expression and asked, Are you gentlemen planning to leave the rooftop? It's very dangerous outside right now. Hearing this, Chu Aijun calmly replied, We're not going back. Supplies are scarce. Let's leave hope for the young ones. We are old and no longer useful, so let's not waste resources.
Upon hearing this, Lin Fan couldn't help but feel dissatisfied, glaring sharply at them. Seeing this, the others instinctively recoiled. What's with this kid's gaze? It suddenly gave me goosebumps. This kid is definitely formidable. Then, Lin Fan smiled brightly and spoke, changing his gaze 180 degrees towards the group of elderly people. Come with me, to my place. It's quite safe there, and I think I'm capable enough to protect you all. However, they flatly refused. Young man, thank you for your kindness, but please forget it. We would only be a burden to you. Just having you think that way is already a great comfort to us. Yet Lin Fan had no intention of giving up. Don't say such things. I'm very formidable. Just follow me, everyone. You can come to my apartment complex first, and I'll find a real estate agent to rent houses for you. This left everyone bewildered. Rent houses? This young man is truly different. Then, Lin Fan quickly pulled their hands and led them away. Don't hesitate anymore, everyone. Listen to me. He insisted on pulling them along, telling them to follow him.
Suddenly, Anh Chen ran over. Wait, Ga Xiao had held him back. Ga Xiao said, Anh Chen, let them be. Anh Chen, don't misunderstand. Let's just continue as before. Isn't it better this way now? Later, when they go downstairs, we'll lure the mutants over and deal with him and those old men. Suddenly, large yellow beams of light from the ground shone down on where he and everyone else were walking. He stopped in a panic, while the faces of those around him were filled with fear. Ong Zongguo hugged Ba Guifen, and everyone looked up at the tall buildings. On the top floor of that building, what they saw made them panic. The sight that met their eyes was none other than a group of people holding large potted plants, throwing them down on where they were standing. Those people threw them frantically as if human lives were trash. At the same time, Ga Xiao and Anh Chen laughed mockingly. Everyone be a little careful. Don't directly smash them to death. Hit hard. Hit with all your might. Throw them down. Lure the surrounding mutants out to bite them to death.
Ông Chung Guo, bà Guifen và bà Liang Yan didn't want to believe what was happening before their eyes. Liang Yan screamed, These bastards! They want to beat us to death! Bà Liang Yan's face was pale, her voice indignant. How could these young people be so cruel? At that moment, they simply thought that those cruel people wanted to beat them to death. Lin Fan's eyes suddenly darkened. No, they are much worse than you think, he said, which couldn't help but make them feel scared. Then, Ông Chung Guo spoke up as if to confirm, Young man, do you mean they don't just want to beat us to death, but want to create noise to lure the mutants so that the mutant horde will bite us to death? As soon as these words were spoken, the old woman next to them immediately exclaimed upon hearing it, What a bunch of beasts! At the same time, the city sky became unusually gloomy. Bloody corpses lay scattered on the ground.
Mr. Aijun, who had been silent until now, his eyes darkened, finally spoke up with a question. Speaking of which, have you guys noticed something? What's the deal with all these mutated corpses on the ground? Could it be that someone has created something that can kill mutants? Mrs. Liang Ling replied, Oh, stop with your OH absent-mindedness. How could what you're talking about be so easily created? Then unexpectedly, Zhongguo spoke up again. Wait a minute, could it be? No way. All eyes simultaneously turned towards Lin Fan. He gave a bright, innocent smile and replied as if nothing had happened. Why are you all looking at me? I was out of options. If I hadn't killed them, I wouldn't have been able to safely get to the rooftop just now. After hearing that, everyone looked at him with astonishment, wide-eyed and open-mouthed. What? Really? What we care about isn't this, but that you, relying on your own strength, managed to kill so many mutants?
The scene shifts to the top floor of the building. They had smashed all the furniture downstairs to create noise and attract the mutated creatures, but not a single one appeared. They then called out, Anh Chen, All the furniture has been thrown down, but there's still no sound from below. Even the others saw it. Huh? Damn it, why are there only mutated corpses down there? Someone exclaimed. Anh Chen didn't believe what they were saying. What nonsense are you talking about? How can that be? Then he ran over and pushed them aside. Get out of the way, let me see what's going on. After observing for a moment, he frantically realized, unable to stop himself from cursing, holy crap, it's really true. Suddenly, Ga Xiao revealed an icy cold face, forcefully pushing a man off the railing to attract the mutated creatures. The man became panicked, starting to flay his limbs, half of his body already suspended in midair, just a little more and he would fall. Anh Chen clung tightly to the edge of the wall, still not understanding what was happening. After the man was thrown down by Ga Xiao, Anh Chen couldn't believe what had just happened.
Brother Xiao, anh cam lầm tê lại. What are you looking at me for? Khí tượng suddenly become suffocatingly tense. Don't throw things anymore. They can't attract mutants anymore. So there's only one way left. Use the smell of flesh and blood to attract mutants from further away. After hearing his despicable plan, Anh Chen immediately flashed a sinister smile and said, "Only your head is clear-headed. Xiao Xiao, you did great." Another person, hearing this, also smiled in agreement, saying, "Brother Xiao is mighty." A moment later, a heavy touch suddenly echoed from the ground. Thump, followed by the furious shrieks of the witnesses. A pool of dark red blood spurted up, splattering all over the glass wall and the road. The pungent fishy smell assailed their noses, making everyone uncomfortable. Smelling the stench of blood, the distant mutants began to rush over. The people above, seeing this, were delighted and laughed triumphantly. "Brother Xiao, your method is truly effective."
Now, let's see how these guys run. I couldn't wait any longer to hear their miserable screams. The people below gradually became aware of this and felt a little worried. What to do now? The mutants have really arrived. Seeing this, he immediately asked, "Hey, sir, do you have a car at your house?" The old man heard this and was puzzled, but still replied to him, "Of course, the car is in the garage. But why are you asking this now? It's good to have a car, but my bicycle can't carry many of you." As soon as the old man finished speaking, Lin Fan quickly sped off, not forgetting to call back to them. "You guys drive to the place I mentioned earlier. I have something to deal with first." Everyone in the group was bewildered. "Wait!" The old man quickly stopped him. "Hey, young man, you're still young. While the mutants haven't broken through the door yet, run away quickly. We will block those mutants for you. That's right, you're young. Your life is more useful than us old folks."
If someone has to sacrifice themselves, it should be us. All of them thought he wanted to risk his life and die to save them. But they didn't know he had already made preparations. His wife Aijun was the first to realize it, and she said, "What's the rush? Hurry up." "This young man isn't foolish. He definitely has his reasons for doing this," another person added. "That's right. I think that young man is absolutely not an ordinary person. Let's just listen to him. Not causing any more trouble is the biggest help we can give him." Suddenly he exclaimed, "Look, I told you, these mutants don't exercise at all every day. Their physical fitness is so poor. This won't do. I've been here for a long time and they're only just now slowly crawling over." In front of him was a group of mutants trying their best to break down the door and rush in. Anh Chen's face darkened and he said, "Brother Xiao, something is strange. The mutants haven't broken down the door yet, but that kid has already run off to the other side by himself." The guy replied with a contemptuous tone, "He must have been scared senseless. His mind must be messed up. What else could it be?" Anh Chen replied with an unpleasant expression, giving a silly laugh. Brother Xiao hit the nail on the head again. That kid even actively opened the door, truly seeking death.
That kid started running. Running is the right thing to do. No matter how foolish, one cannot go against the instinct for survival. That's true. So Brother Xiao has foresight. Wait, Anh Chen, something's wrong. The direction that kid is running seems to be, he said with a look of fear, as if he couldn't believe it. Then the two of them turned to look at each other and said in unison, "Holy crap! Him!" They stammered incessantly. Holy crap! He lured the mutants here. Unexpectedly, he ran as bait, luring them to where Anh Chen and Ga Xiao were standing. A chaotic scene quickly unfolded as groups of mutants followed him to the spot, making the others terrified when they saw him and what they feared. More than him, it was the formidable army of mutated beasts chasing behind him. "Chao Con, what exactly do you want to do? Didn't you want to lure the mutants here? I'm kindly helping you. I've already brought the mutants for you. No need to thank me." Then the horde of mutants poured in from outside, making them so scared they couldn't even scream.
And Chen saw this and shouted unhappily, "Thanks a lot, Grandpa." The scene shifted to a small, light pink apartment complex with a touch of classic charm. A woman's urging voice rang out, "Everyone, hurry and wash your hands. Dinner's almost ready." It turned out to be Feifei's mother. At this moment, she turned to him and said, "Brother Lin Fan, come and taste my cooking." Then she said gratefully, "Thanks to you, Feifei and I can live a peaceful life." The other old folks heard this and happily chimed in, "Hey, that's right. If it weren't for little Fan, these 4 old folks probably wouldn't have lived to see tomorrow." At this moment, Feifei saw him staring at her and asked, "Uncle, what are you looking at me for? Is there something on Feifei's face?" Then Lin Fan, out of curiosity, asked the little girl, "Feifei, where's your backpack?" The little girl then looked bewildered and replied, "A backpack? What backpack?" After hearing her answer, he explained in detail to the little girl. Although no one asked him to, he even introduced the old woman at the school to her.
Even though it's the apocalypse, you're still young and need to study properly. This is Ba Liang, a retired teacher. She can teach you. How about this? From now on, I'll make time to bring your backpack and books here, okay? Then Feifei's eyes welled up with tears as she looked at her mother and asked, "Mom, it's the apocalypse now. Do I still have to study?" Her mother helplessly stroked her head. "Be good. Listen to Uncle. He's right. Studying is the only thing you can do now." The little girl's face began to crumple. "No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Uncle is mean, and so are you, Mom." Everyone burst out laughing. Just like that, the Yangguang residential area where Lin Fan lived welcomed 6 new residents, and a place that was once gloomy became a bit livelier. At this moment, Lin Fan spoke up. "Everyone, eat. I'm going to throw out the trash, and while I'm at it, I'll bring Feifei's books and backpack here." Feifei immediately protested. "Huh? Uncle? No way. If you do that, you'll be making an enemy of me."
As dusk faded, the sun disappeared behind a gentle curtain of night that fell over the house. The blue lights arranged outside made it even more mysterious. In the deep blue sky, a few stars twinkled like tiny musical notes of the night. As night fell, the mutants began to move to forage, but they were shot in the forehead by a marksman and died on the spot. The young Nan, wearing a black baseball cap, then shouted, "Done! 2 mutants, too easy." He secretly analyzed, "Within this small area, most of the mutants wandering the streets have been dealt with, but the mutants inside the stores might not be so easy to eliminate." Then the short-haired woman replied, "For now, let's just ignore them, and then switch the topic to our current food supply." "Right, I've finished distributing the food. We can last for about 7 more days. The water supply is also not an issue for now. But the water plant hasn't been shut down yet," she wondered. "It should have been shut down a long time ago, shouldn't it? From what I see, there might be someone at the water plant." While they were engrossed in conversation, suddenly there was a loud noise outside, startling them. A column of smoke and fire rose, attracting the mutants, who began to gather and approach.
She heard it and wondered, what's going on? Then they, including the boy in the baseball cap, all looked down curiously. Big Sister saw this and cried out in panic, "This is bad! The explosion just now attracted the mutants from around here. Which Dohon caused such a big commotion?" Unexpectedly, they saw a girl around 18 or 20 being surrounded and chased by a group of mutants. She cried out miserably a few times, "Help! Save me! Someone come and save me!" Suddenly, a giant arm appeared and smashed her body into 100 pieces. After that, it rode, feeling itself to be the overlord of this area, making Big Sister turn pale. Is this a mutant? A giant mutant? Could it be that mutants are still evolving? At this moment, a trash can blocked their view. What's more, it made a few clattering sounds, which made Big Sister quite frightened. And then she secretly thought, that sound, could there be another giant mutant? Then she curiously looked back at the trash can very carefully, and unexpectedly, it was Lin Fan.
The madman they had met a few days ago casually went about pulling a garbage cart, maintaining a calm, unconcerned expression, and awkwardly apologized to the mutants in front of him. "Sorry about that, I bumped into you." Suddenly, the mutants flew into the air. The information panel appeared once again. Name, Lin Fan. Strength 80, peak. Stamina 45, super strong. Speed 40, super strong. Score 0. He kindly asked them, "Are you also out for exercise? Well then, to make up for it, let's go for a night run together. I'll lead you." With that, he drew his sword. The angry roars of the mutants seemed to tear apart the sky. It was then that she was surprised, calming her mind to realize, oh, so it was him. The others looked as if they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Am I seeing things? Why do I seem to see this person pulling a garbage can while running? Then someone joyfully exclaimed, "Big Sister, the mutants have been lured away by that person. It seems we're saved." At the same time, below, the sky was pitch black.
the scene shifted to Buko Supermarket.
Lin Fan finally dragged the trash can, panting. Upon arrival, he left the trash can from the Youngwon apartment complex here for now. He planned to go upstairs to get his backpack and carry it for Feifei, then find a place to dump the trash. Just then, looking down from above, a group of 4 young men, looking like gangsters, tall and muscular, shouted down, "Hey, what are you doing?" Lin Fan immediately noticed them, looked up at them, and asked, "Is there something wrong? My trash can is full, so I came here to find a place to dump the trash, and while I'm at it..." Before he could finish, they interrupted him one another with mocking tones. "Oh, damn, listen to this. This guy says he's here to dump trash. Is he some kind of genius? He's so different from the rest of us. He's not an idiot, is he? Come on, he's definitely an idiot." However, Lin Fan calmly replied, "Isn't dumping trash a perfectly normal thing to do?" Despite being teased in various ways, Lin Fan remained unfazed, determined to be a good person to the end. He asked again, "Is there something wrong with you guys? If you need help, you can tell me."
One of them couldn't help but burst out laughing, exclaiming, "Are you really that stupid? I'm living well here, eating good food, sleeping soundly, and you're asking if we need help? You clearly have a screw loose, and then you make threats. Do you believe that if I just let out one shout, you'll be chased by the mutants?" Then suddenly he waved goodbye as if nothing had happened, then left the trash can there and walked away, leaving the whole group fuming and speechless with anger. "Damn it! Hey you, what's with that attitude? It seems like he's looking down on us."
They discussed among themselves, revealing the inherently evil nature of the entire group. They said, "Let's lure the mutants here. Coincidentally, I want to see what someone looks like when being chased by mutants. I think that's a good idea. Anyway, we're extremely safe on the 2nd floor, unless the mutants can fly." After that, they competed to howl and shout like madmen, aiming to draw the mutants closer. However, after a period of hoarse shouting, the sky unexpectedly became eerily quiet, causing them to freeze and ask each other, "That's strange. There aren't any mutants around us, are there?" The other person replied, "No way. The number of mutants isn't that small." He looked around in confusion. "So where are the mutants?" At that moment, he looked up from below and calmly replied, "Don't rush. They'll be here soon." After that, he quietly walked inside as if nothing had happened. As soon as he finished speaking, one person, unable to control himself, shouted loudly, cursing directly at Lin Fan. "That idiot, what is he talking about?" The other person heard that and also froze, completely at a loss. He then put on a bored expression, revealing his cruel nature, treating humans as his playthings, but was greatly disappointed because he unexpectedly couldn't lure the mutants to kill that fool. Just then, the ground suddenly shook, and gravel and stones began to fall down the slope. Hearing that, they asked each other, "Hey, do you guys hear something?" The others reacted similarly. There really is a sound. What is it after all? Suddenly, a roaring monster with a fierce and terrifying expression appeared before their eyes, making their hair stand on end. The house was destroyed. Lin Fan, with a backpack on his back and carrying a long sword, let out an exclamation, as if the teenagers from earlier had been getting along quite well with the zombies. A cry echoed from somewhere, making him turn his head slightly surprised towards the sound. He walked towards Shanye bookstore, as it seemed to be a child's cry. Stepping up the stairs with curiosity, he wondered if there were any children in the store. He walked all the way to the top of the stairs leading to the upper floor, only to horrifyingly discover a woman's body hanging high above, seemingly a suicide. The woman's face was pale, her mouth agape, and her arms hung limp. Around her neck was draped a cloth bundle containing a baby. He observed, his heart filled with doubt. The baby was clearly still alive, so why did she choose to hang herself? Wasn't that abandoning her child?
He was still hesitant, wondering if he should approach closer to examine it more carefully and save the baby. What if there was a trap that would cost him his life here? Yet he still chose to save the baby. He slowly approached, carefully untying the scarf around the woman's neck. Inside were a baby and a blue object. He saw that it was a diary. The baby's cries rang out. The baby cried louder and louder upon seeing someone. It was probably due to being starved for too long. He held the baby in his arms, comforting it. There, be good. Don't cry. I'll take you out of this place." With no milk, he had no choice but to let it suck on his finger to stop crying. Only then did he notice the old, light blue diary tucked in with the baby. The first page of the diary clearly stated, "No rescue, no food. I'm getting weaker and weaker. I know I'm not going to make it. I've seen those who died before turn into zombies. I don't want my child to be harmed. Now, while I still have strength, I think I should prepare for the end." He thought, when she wrote these lines, she must have been agonizing and desperate.
Sitting here, holding my child, my mind is a mess of countless thoughts, worries, and anxieties. I'm afraid of hurting this baby. I must endure the pain. I'll smash the teeth in my mouth and bind them tightly with a bandage. That way, even if I turn into a zombie, I won't lose control and bite my child. My child's name is Megman. If anyone finds this place, I hope you can help my child survive. I know that in this apocalypse, children are a burden. If you decide to kill her, I only hope you won't let her feel any pain. And please don't just abandon her outside. I don't want her to be eaten by zombies. Even though she wasn't sure if anyone would come, she still wanted to take a gamble, betting that someone would arrive and be kind enough to save her child, betting that a mother's sacrifice for her child would be worthwhile and not in vain. Lin Fan read the lines in the diary, feeling admiration for the woman in front of him. He bowed his head and said, "Don't worry, I will definitely ensure your child survives." Suddenly, there was a clattering sound. It turned out to be a basketball rolling towards him. Lin Fan was surprised and cautiously held the child tightly in his arms, watching the basketball roll to his feet.
Roar! A nine-eyed monster with glowing red eyes, bearing its two sharp fangs, with disheveled, matted hair and razor-sharp claws, was pouncing towards Lin Fan and the baby. He quickly dodged its attack. Its speed was faster than any zombie he had encountered before. The monster missed its lunge, but quickly resumed its attack on this new prey. Lin Fan drew the long sword from his back, his mind filled with strange questions. In a place with such formidable zombies, yet the baby had survived. A thought flashed through his mind. Could it be that this zombie was setting a trap, using this baby to lure others? Lost in thought, that evolved zombie continued to charge forward at dizzying speed. A flash of light was all that was seen, as Lin Fan, with one arm holding the sleeping child, and with the other, swung his sword, striking the massive monster, splitting it in half, blood splattering everywhere. A truly horrifying sight. Ding! The system's notification sounded. Killed an evolved speed zombie. Received 3 points.
The baby was still sound asleep in Lin Fan's arms, while he was bewildered and full of questions. What exactly was going on? Up until now, the zombies he had encountered hadn't been very intelligent. On the floor was the corpse of the evolved zombie, lying in a puddle of splattered blood. In the middle of the corpse, which Lin Fan had cut in half, was a dazzling red stone. Suddenly, he remembered something. He was in a bookstore, Wu Ming bookstore. He understood now. This zombie had obviously been reading educational books. Indeed, knowledge is power that helps people progress. As if his questions had been answered, Lin Fan finally breathed a sigh of relief. He walked around, looking for books on the old shelves. Since he was already here, he might as well buy some test papers and exercises for Feifei. Just by looking, he knew Feifei was a studious little girl. Later, when Feifei saw these things, she would surely be thrilled, he said with a confident expression. Scene change. On the barren desert, there were surprisingly a few lush green trees. This was an underground base in the desert.
The professor, wearing a white coat, bald-headed with a white beard and glasses, revealed a look of astonishment and disbelief as he gazed at the red stone the girl had brought back. He was agitated, his hands trembling, sweating, with an expression of utmost surprise in his eyes, and he exclaimed, "Is this something found in the brain of a mutated zombie?" "That's right. This zombie was a bit special, which is why we went to examine its corpse. We discovered this crystal in its brain," the girl replied. The professor, deep in thought, explained the situation to me. Yes, the first shot was fired at the scene in the south. The weapon he used was a CSL R-35 sniper rifle, a single shot hitting the zombie's head. The Special Forces operative was lying prone, aiming with tension, but a scene unfolded that astonished everyone at that moment. A beam of light pierced precisely through its head, shattering the top of the giant zombie monster's head. However, not only was that zombie not killed, but its operational capabilities remained the same. It quickly attacked the Special Forces base, continuously firing shots towards the south.
It only collapsed when its head was blown to pieces by multiple shots. The zombie splattered and fell. Before encountering this zombie, the zombies we had faced, let alone using guns, even a regular iron rod stabbed into their heads was enough to kill them. But this time, a single shot to the head still couldn't kill it, which was truly unbelievable. While listening to the girl explain the full story, the professor was still engrossed in observing the strange red crystal. After the girl finished speaking, he basically understood the current situation. He turned to the girl and said, "It seems zombies are truly evolving, but why are they evolving like this? Even blowing up their heads can't kill them. It's like they're demons." He continued to ponder.
The only domestic bases we can contact are Dragon Palace Base and Milky Way Base, but the zombies outside are still constantly evolving. Can we truly save this world? What? Professor, I actually have a rather immature thought. The professor was surprised by her words. Go on, he replied. The girl continued. Before, when I had free time, I liked to read novels. In many novels, zombies are described as having crystals in their brains. That's an essential material for evolution. As she spoke, she looked at the sparkling red crystal contained in the test tube in her hand. Humans who kill zombies obtain crystals and can absorb the energy within them, thereby evolving into superhumans. I wonder if this crystal is the same.
The professor's face was full of question marks, as if wanting to ask, is it even possible to think like that? He exclaimed, "Huh? A zombie novel?" Scene change. A woman peeked her head down. She wondered, is there someone outside? The streets are full of terrifying zombies. Does he still dare to walk around outside? Suddenly, Lin Fan looked up, scaring her to death, and she quickly ducked down, covering her mouth. Oh no, he's looking this way. Have I been discovered? This woman was none other than the cake idol, Su Xiaoxiao. As for Lin Fan, he was still bewildered, wondering, are there still lucky survivors? Just then, the sound of an engine caught his attention. A luxurious car parked right at the United Nations. Along with it came an urgent call. Hurry up.
These people were members of the Huang family's gangster syndicate. Seeing this, Lin Fan cheerfully greeted them. He thought to himself, even from a distance, he could still smell the strong scent of blood on them. Upon seeing Lin Fan, the entire group was bewildered. Holy crap, it's so crowded outside, and we can still see a living person on the street. Should we eliminate him? The leader advised, for now there's no need to be wary, lest we disturb the surrounding zombies. Don't forget, this time we're out here with a mission arranged by the boss. The others agreed after hearing this, saying, that's right, if we don't find what the boss needs, he'll skin us alive. At this moment, the driver glanced at Lin Fan, wondering, this idiot still hasn't run away. Then he thought maliciously, after our guys get the guns and come out, I'll tie him up and drag him behind the car so the zombies can chase and tear him apart. Suddenly, Lin Fan cheerfully ran towards the car door, scaring the man pale.
What are you doing? Then he cheerfully asked. Oh, nothing. I just came over to say hello, and while I'm here, I wanted to ask what you guys are doing. However, the driver remained vigilant. Holy shit, you almost scared me to death. It's like seeing a ghost. Wasn't he just over there a moment ago? How is he standing right in front of me now? At this moment, the rest of the group saw him and asked, Oh, is this kid still here? Hey, what are you and he doing? Seeing this, the driver changed the subject. That's right, have you guys found what the boss needs? They immediately took a red bag, threw it into the car, and asked in return, Why else would I be here? With these things, our lives will be much more comfortable from now on. At this moment, another guy, somewhat interested in him, said, Kid, you've got guts, daring to run around alone on the road. How on earth have you survived until now? Lin Fan replied with an utterly clueless expression. When I encounter regular zombies, I'll interact with them, advising them not to be impulsive. If they don't listen, I'll defend myself, drawing my sword to kill the zombies. This left the young man dumbfounded, asking himself, Is there something wrong with my comprehension? What the hell is he talking about?
Suddenly, another gun barrel was pointed directly at Lin Fan. Kid, do you know what this is? However, Lin Fan showed no fear and stood still. So the four of you went in there to steal guns? Hearing this, he yelled irritably, Are you crazy? Do we still need to steal at a time like this? It's the apocalypse now. The apocalypse? Everyone we've killed before begged miserably. Damn it, are you looking down on us? However, before he could finish speaking, Lin Fan had already severed the arm holding the gun. Sorry about that. I've been defending myself and slicing zombies for so long. I'm used to slicing. I forgot you were human. The guy next to him saw this and hastily drew his gun. You motherfucker, you're really asking for death. Instantly, he was sliced in half. The others saw this and became a bit hesitant. His guy moves so fast that almost no one saw anything. Is he really still human? At the same time, inside the car, the driver yelled irritably, You're yelling too loudly. Zombies are about to be lured here. Get in the car quickly. However, they just stood there, staring blankly.
The driver couldn't take it anymore when he saw that and immediately sped off. He called out to the few people who were still standing to get in the car. I'm not waiting for you lot anymore.
You brat, I'll remember what happened today. Wait until I report this to the boss. He definitely won't let you off. This made the people behind him frantically run after the car, shouting, You motherfucker, we haven't even gotten in yet. Come back here. However, it was too late for all of them. Seeing this, Lin Fan sheathed his sword and said with a smile, Look, even the enthusiastic zombies can't stand it anymore. Even if they're not very friendly, they'll still bravely step forward and bite you when they know there are criminals. The other two guys looked sullen and pouted. Enthusiastic zombies, what are you talking about? Isn't it just that after you chopped someone up, the smell of blood attracted them? Suddenly, Lin Fan used his feet to jump onto the rooftop, calling down, Remember this, justice may be late, but it will certainly not be absent. Then he waved goodbye to the gangsters. When the mutants surrounded them, they reacted too late. Desperate shouts rang out, Quick, draw your guns! It's too late! No, I don't want to die here! Inside the car, Su Xiao poked her head out the window to assess the situation.
What's happening outside? Why is there such a big commotion? Su Xiao assessed the situation based on her own experience. There were so many zombies outside. Could it be that the person who was just wandering around attracted them? She couldn't understand what he was thinking anymore. It was so dangerous outside, yet he dared to wander around. He's probably been bitten to death by zombies by now. Lin Fan suddenly appeared behind her, startling Su Xiao. She had to doubt her own eyes. This was the second floor. How could he appear outside the window? How did he manage to do that? Unexpectedly, even though Lin Fan was sitting on the outdoor AC unit to avoid the mutated creatures, he was still thinking about others. This girl must have been stunned by the apocalypse. Although he really wanted to help her, she couldn't accept it just yet. He needed to give her enough time to recover from the shock. He thought he had scared Su Xiao on the first meeting, so he wanted to make amends. He decided that from now on, he would come to her window every day and smile at her once, using his good intentions to win her over and make her understand that he had no ill will and there was no need to be so afraid.
She thought Lin Fan was a bad person, so she quickly gripped the knife tightly in her hand. It's over, it's over. I've been discovered. Despite her frail appearance, Su Xiao tried to act tough. What should I do now? If I run, I definitely won't escape. He will surely inform the other survivors. I absolutely cannot let them catch me. Damn it. Even if I can't stab him, I can stab myself, so he won't have a chance to toy with my body. Huangshi Haoyan Mountain and Water. A shout came from outside. Big brother, this is bad. A bald man rushed in, reporting the unfavorable situation. Wang Dafu, with a scowl, asked, What happened? He quickly knelt at Wang Dafu's feet, explaining clearly. Big brother, we went to the police station, but unexpectedly encountered another group of survivors. They were hiding in the shadows, secretly observing our actions. As soon as we found guns in the police station, those people even brought zombies with them.
Baldy was inherently incapable of solving problems, and lying had become an ingrained habit. I told the guys to get in the car quickly, but the sheer number of zombies blocked their path. In the end, I had no choice but to drive away and escape. I absolutely couldn't let Big Brother know that there was only one enemy. I was so scared by the zombies that I couldn't wait for them to get in the car and just fled. Baldy watched him sit there, still as a statue, and grew increasingly anxious. Damn it, why isn't Big Brother saying anything? Is he going to slap me? I've personally witnessed Big Brother smash dozens of bricks with his bare hands, and even just a single slap could shatter a pebble. Dafu, smoking a cigar, blew smoke into his face and asked, Then why aren't you dead there? Baldy knew well the consequences of disobeying him. The consequences were truly immense. He had to endure it. Absolutely had to endure it. He absolutely couldn't yell out again and provoke Big Brother, or he'd be dead for sure. He was so tense that he was drenched in sweat, yet he still had to feign loyalty.
Big Brother, I'm not going to drive for you anymore. Zafu temporarily spared the bald man's life, then quickly left the master's villa. The master paused for a few seconds, because the plan didn't unfold as interestingly as imagined. I've always wanted to clear out this entire villa area, then use it as a base to continuously expand our territory outwards. But I didn't expect the Huang family to have another group, even thinking of taking guns from the police station. It seems they are also capable and ruthless individuals. We must be wary of them. When the sunlight shone everywhere, the sky was a pale blue again. Young Guang Guizhun was busy sowing seeds on the land near the house. These seeds from Little Fan were still not enough. Upon returning, he still had to tell him to figure out a way to bring more back. Aijun asked Zhongguo to tie the ropes tightly to the wooden planks. Old Brother Wang reinforced this side a bit more. He happily complied. All right, Fei Fei is small, but already has a high spirit for learning. Madam Su, can we learn English?
Yang Yan had her own opinion.
She said, "My dear, English is useless now. We should study math, physics, and chemistry. This is the real knowledge." She immediately nodded in agreement. Yes. Fei didn't expect to see a large stack of books on the table. It turned out Lin Fan had personally gone out and brought them back for her. Lin Fan asked, "Fei, are you happy? But don't get too excited. I saw that you're a studious child, so I picked these up for you last night." Lin Fan probably didn't know if Fei was ultimately touched or catching a cold. He saw her so happy that she started crying again, and immediately said, "I told you not to get so excited. This girl is truly too studious." The baby in Lin Fan's arms suddenly started crying. Fei's mother wondered about the child's identity and asked Lin Fan. Regarding this baby, Lin Fan found it inconvenient to explain in detail. He said, "It's a long story. I remember you used to be a military doctor, so I wanted you to check on the child's current condition." Liang Yan was always ready to help patients who came to her. She said, "Come on, bring the baby over here for me to see."
A little while later, many red marks appeared on the baby's body. She carefully and lovingly tended to the baby's wounds. Fortunately, it was discovered in time. If it had been discovered even a little later, this child might not have survived. However, we cannot be complacent about the current situation. The baby's immune system is still weak, and it has an infection on its buttocks and other parts of its body, so it needs careful attention to recover. Lian Yan wanted to know more about the child. "Little Fan, what's the baby's name?" Only then did he reveal the name was Meng, but she still felt something was missing. "What's the surname?" Lin Fan stated the truth. "I don't know. In the baby's mother's diary, only the name Meng was written." Lian Yan believed the child should have a complete name. "Meng has no surname, and you rescued the baby. Why not let her take your surname, Lin?" But Lin Fan thought it best to follow the mother's wishes. "No need. Just call her Meng. Her life was fought for by her mother. When she grows up, I will tell her these things, and let her understand what a great mother she once had." Thanks to her prior experience, Little Mother decided she would personally raise Meng. "Lin Fan, you're still young and have no experience caring for children, and the elderly are too old to handle the pressure of nighttime. From now on, I will take care of this child. After all, I've taken care of Fei for so many years. I have experience." Lin Fan was extremely grateful that she was sharing some of the burden. He said, "Thank you, Sister Li. How about this? You help me take care of her during the day. I'll take care of her myself at night." Suddenly, a shout echoed towards him. "Little Fan, come here quickly." Lin Fan turned his head back with a worried look. "What's wrong?" "Zhong Guo didn't expect things to happen so quickly," a voice rang out. "Something's happened. Many zombies have appeared outside. I can't believe I accidentally led them here." "What did you say? How was that possible? When I came back, I had clearly shaken off the zombies a long distance away. Logically, they shouldn't have been able to catch up to me." Lin Fan's greatest fear was that the thought in his head would become reality.
Have these zombies even evolved intelligence? Behind the truck, many mutated creatures were frantically giving chase. It seemed Chen He wasn't too concerned about them and continued to drive forward. From the external camera, they shrewdly discovered the reason. "Little Fan," someone said. "Earlier, a car drove past quickly, constantly honking its horn, attracting zombies." Ajun wasn't surprised by Chen He's objective. It seemed he wanted to attract the surrounding zombies there, creating an opportunity for that last group of survivors to gather supplies. He had already observed the situation thoroughly. I see. The group wasn't afraid of the mutated creatures and calmly brought their weapons out onto the street, quickly seized the opportunity to gather supplies. The more Ajun watched, the more he felt something was amiss. "Old Brother Wang, do you see something wrong? Why is that cargo truck turning back?" Lin Fan seemed to have figured something out. Chen He's car, for some reason, was speeding straight towards the group stealing supplies. It was only then that they suddenly realized Chen He's ulterior motive. He wanted to set them up to die.
He calmly lit a cigarette, then recalled his once happy past. When the apocalypse broke out, he and his wife and children were at home. The situation outside made him feel desperate. Chen He was a good husband and father. He didn't want to see his wife and children suffer, especially as the food in the house dwindled. He comforted his wife and children, telling them to stay home and wait for his return, while he ventured out to find food. He still vividly remembered the time he almost lost his life during a dangerous outing. Who would have thought that shortly after going out, he would be chased by a zombie? At that critical moment, a cargo truck appeared. 2 people got out, one holding a shield, the other a steel pipe. Chen He was utterly astonished by the sight. The 2 of them coordinated skillfully, and in the blink of an eye, pierced the zombie's brain. He was determined to find food so his family could survive. He wanted to follow them, but they weren't interested. However, when he mentioned that his wife and children were at home and hoped they could spare some food, Chen-hei has been haunted by that moment to this very day. Unexpectedly, they agreed and told him to bring his family to their safe haven.
At that time, I thought I had met good people, but little did I know that a deep abyss had completely engulfed me. I witnessed the wicked actions of the group, which is why I harbored resentment in my heart. After encountering my family, they unleashed their bestial nature, tied me up, and humiliated my wife right in front of me. Tied to a pillar, I, Chen-hei, could only watch helplessly as my wife was humiliated, unable to rush to her aid. I was so heartbroken that I couldn't speak, tears streaming from the corners of my eyes. I, Chen-hei, found myself in a dilemma. I had just lost my beloved wife, and now my daughter was kidnapped. My wife refused to endure the humiliation, trying to resist, but they threw her down from the 3rd floor of a dilapidated motel. I had originally intended to risk my life, but they had already seized my 8-year-old daughter. They threatened that if I dared to resist, they would throw my child down. It was precisely because of this that the deep-seated resentment in my heart transformed into the deliberate act of causing an accident for those wicked people. I swear I won't let you beasts return alive. I, Chen-hei, pressed the accelerator harder, as if I wasn't afraid of losing my life. The car sped straight into the group of people and then suddenly exploded at the front.
Lin Fan realized the situation was spiraling out of control. He said, "I'll go over there and check it out." Zhongguo didn't have time to stop him, hastily calling out, "Wait, little Fan." By this time, Lin Fan had already called out from a distance, while the mutants had surrounded the front of the vehicle. "Hey, I'm giving you guys one last chance to save your lives before I take decisive action. Can you zombies leave the Yangguang apartment complex? Don't cause trouble here. I have elderly people, mothers and children, and babies here." The mutants didn't understand what Lin Fan was saying to them, and they turned their heads, intending to bite him back. Lin Fan figured they chose to face punishment rather than accept a peaceful invitation, so he directly took the head of one of them. Truly, good words are wasted on the stubborn. Ai Jun felt as if he had been struck by lightning. "Old Wang, in your opinion, can what little Fan just did be considered something a human could do?" Zhongguo also couldn't help but doubt Lin Fan's true strength. "I truly suspect little Fan is a super warrior. This strength is beyond imagination. Perhaps one day, the rebuilding of civilization will begin with the Huang family. Lin Fan is one of the hopes for rebuilding civilization."
In an instant, the mutated creatures were dealt with by Lin Fan on the spot. He inquired about Chen-hei's condition. "Miss Su, how is he?" Gui Fan performed a preliminary check and reassured him. "He's fine, just a minor injury. The safety airbags protected him. It's just a nosebleed, nothing serious. Rest assured, Chen-hei will be okay." Lin Fan replied, "Oh, that's good." Gui Fan froze on the spot, thinking to herself, "What's going on? Lin Fan saved someone, but his motive was surprisingly simple. Given the situation, the road outside definitely needs to be cleaned up, and this is something Chen-hei caused. Who else but him could clean it up? I just feel like something is off, but I really can't refute what little Fan said." Chen-hei woke up, thinking he hadn't made it because the car had caught fire. Is this heaven? He calmly realized, no, this is Yangguang apartment complex, Lin Fan and Gui Fan's home. Clearly, Lin Fan was concerned about Chen-hei's health, but also very much wanted him to take responsibility for his recent reckless actions.
"All right, you're awake now. Later, go clean up those zombie corpses out there yourself, otherwise it'll start to stink." Chen-hei, his body covered in injuries, explained to them, "My name is Chen-hei. I used to be an internet repairman. Thank you for saving me, but now I have to go save my daughter. My daughter is still in their lair." Lin Fan thought to himself, he caused this mess and is trying to shirk responsibility, creating trouble and then wanting to run away? Isn't he going to clean up the streets? He planned to go rescue the person in Chen-hei's place and at the same time clean up the streets. "Tell me the address. I'll run the errand for you. Go save your daughter for you. Don't worry, I charge very little." Before Chen-hei could even understand what was happening, Little Ding was quickly rescued by Lin Fan, much to her astonishment. "Uncle, are you really the person my dad called to pick me up?" Little Ding asked. Lin Fan gently patted her head and joked to ease Little Ding's tension. "Of course, I'm the errand runner your dad paid 100 yuan to hire." Su Sha caught sight of Lin Fan through the window again. "It's him. That person has appeared again." For some reason, she thought he was bullying someone, and he was also holding a little girl who looked to be only 8 or 9 years old.
At 9 years old, Lin Fan inadvertently looked towards Su Shao's window. It was her.
Not only did he not dislike her, but he also stood below and waved. Although Su Xiao quickly hid, she still felt uneasy. Damn it, that guy was looking at her and even flashed a smirk. She quickly pulled the curtains shut so Lin Fan couldn't see anything anymore. Su Xiao was indeed an extreme overthinker. She sobbed, fearing she would lose her life at his hands. Whenever she thought of her impending tragic fate, she felt despair. Could she really just let such a scumbag do whatever he wanted? Lin Fan could only scratch his head helplessly, unsure how to help. This survivor's reaction was truly strange. Could she really have been scared foolish by the apocalypse, her mind having issues? He even kindly reminded her, hoping Ding Ding would be safe. Forget it. Ding Ding, the survivor with mental issues, was very scary, very prone to harming others. I'll have to stay away from her from now on. The streets were becoming cluttered with moving mutants. Even though she was in the car, she still panicked. Big Sister couldn't help but feel anxious about the situation outside. What's wrong? He immediately recognized someone familiar. Big Sister, quickly look at the intersection ahead. It seems to be that eccentric survivor we met before. He still dares to swagger around outside, and this time he's even brought a child along. He's truly too reckless. Lin Fan stood outside the stuffed animal store, saying with delight, "These stuffed animals look really pretty. I'm going to buy one for Meng Meng. Ding Ding, do you want one?" Little Ding touched the glass, saying, "Yes, please." She didn't want to see innocent people harmed by the mutants. Oh no, a horde of zombies is chasing us from behind the car. If they spot him and the little girl, they're dead for sure. Big Sister immediately ordered her subordinates. Old Mao quickly honked the horn to help them lure the surrounding zombies away. Old Mao obeyed her. Before he could honk the horn, a sudden singing voice shattered her plan. What is Dad's dad called? It turned out to be the voice of the mimicking tree, singing Little Ding's favorite song. The sound attracted the attention of the mutants, causing them to lose control. With bloodshot eyes, they charged madly towards the living. Lin Fan, however, paid no attention to the danger lurking behind him. The captain broke out in a cold sweat at his surprisingly fast speed. Holy crap, Big Sister, it seems he's gone a step ahead of us and lured all the zombies over there. The atmosphere around Big Sister fell silent. Xiao is doomed. At Desert Base, the researcher shouted, "Professor, we have the test results for the crystal extracted from the zombie's brain earlier." He learned from the data that the substance in this crystal is unlike any material we've ever known. The professor was a little puzzled. How stable are its properties? The researcher analyzed. According to its biochemical characteristics, it's very stable. The structure of the glass-like protective layer on the outside of this crystal is very strange, similar to our skin, but much harder. It seemed he was not pleased with the results just obtained. Nevertheless, as a survival base, our equipment is naturally the most advanced.
But even with top-tier equipment, they still haven't been able to figure out what the crystals in zombie brains are actually for. The professor held on to hope that others would investigate. Oh, right. We've previously told Dragon Palace Base and Hengen Base about the crystals we extracted from zombie brains. Have they made any progress on their end? He lowered his head slightly, a look of disappointment on his face. Dragon Palace Base and Hengen Base also went out to hunt zombies, but they didn't find any crystals in zombie brains. Therefore, their final conclusion was that ordinary zombies don't have crystals in their brains, only special zombies do. He couldn't rest easy for a single moment. This further proved one thing: zombies could truly evolve. For the living, this was not good news. If they still couldn't find a way to deal with zombies, humanity might truly face an unimaginable fate.
The sky was clear blue with wisps of white clouds. On the rooftop of the apartment complex at Huang Family, a person stood there, boasting to the world. "I've got it! I've got it! I finally got it!" Zhang Hao couldn't hide his joy upon obtaining the treasure. Just like in novels, there really was a crystal in the zombie's head. It wasn't easy at all, because to get this core crystal, he had trapped and killed 7 other teammates. He had great ambitions, but took the wrong path from the very first step. Absorbing the crystal will make me stronger, then I'll continue killing zombies, continue getting stronger. After that, I'll become king and dominate the apocalypse. What else could I not have then? If heaven hadn't given birth to me, Zhang Hao, the apocalypse would be an eternal, endless night. This Zhang Hao is finally about to welcome the day his life changes. Zhang Hao opened his mouth wide to swallow the crystal more easily. Come on, I'm ready. Let this surge of power change my body, help me possess superhuman strength. I want to become a monarch in the apocalypse. I want to become a monarch in 365 days, changing girls every day. He stubbornly believed in things that could never come true. A moment later, Zhang Hao was panting, but couldn't utter a word.
He felt no change whatsoever in his body.
What's going on? Is this crystal useless? This isn't like in the novels. Zhang Hao's face contorted at the unexpected phenomenon. My stomach hurts so much. It's coming. It's coming. The crystal must be about to take effect. He fell to the ground, but still yearned to dominate everything. It hurts so much. I'm going to die from the pain. But it's okay. As long as I persevere, a bright future will be mine. In the end, Zhang Hao vomited blood on the spot. He suddenly lost his life just from swallowing the mutated crystal. No way. I can't accept this. Zhang Hao's entire body stiffened in an instant. Yangguang apartment complex. Chen He hurriedly hugged his daughter, Ding Ding, tightly. The little girl was sobbing uncontrollably from fear. Daddy! Little mother looked at Lin Fan's condition in a daze. Lin Fan, my brother, why is there so much blood on you? You're not hurt, are you? Lin Fan immediately explained. I'm fine. This is all zombie blood. Zhonghua patted Lin Fan's shoulder, signaling him to accept the payment. Little Fan is really efficient at running errands. Chen He, quickly pay Little Fan. Chen He handed Lin Fan a banknote. Thank you. Lin Fan happily accepted it, feeling more at ease. Why thank me? You pay, I run errands. This is all just what I should do. Chen He knew that money had long since depreciated, but he was even more grateful to Lin Fan. It was already the apocalypse. He wouldn't carry useless money on him. This $100 note was given to him earlier by Old Man Wang. He thought everyone was just joking, but unexpectedly, he actually took it.
He whispered into Zhang Guo's ear, looking doubtful. Old Man Wang, isn't there something wrong? Old Man Wang found this very normal and always valued everyone's labor. What's the problem with that? Paying for what you buy is normal. Running errands is the same. It's the apocalypse, but we still do things this way at our Yangguang apartment complex. Don't think this is insignificant. If you think about it carefully, such behavior is actually an orderly existence, and only with order can there be a future. Ajin thought Chen He didn't need to worry too much. Actually, at first, we also thought, like you, that Little Fan might have some mental issues, but it's different now. We can interpret this as a kind of ideological realm. Those who understand will naturally understand. Those who don't understand will naturally not understand. Even he had to change his initial thoughts. Although he didn't understand what these two old men were talking about, he still felt it was very cool. There was a sound coming from the clock tower. According to Zhang Guo's judgment, the sound seemed to come from the clock tower on Sunflower Road.
Wei Fan spoke about the benefits of ringing the bell exactly at 12 o'clock. Someone must have fixed the clock in the clock tower to strike precisely on the hour. This would surely lure the zombies there, potentially creating a bit of time for the survivors to search for supplies. Ai-jun heard this and felt a silent gratitude. She didn't know who did it, but it was truly a good person, a very good deed, proving that even in times of crisis there was still hope. The mutants rushed out onto the streets like a storm. Indeed, they had been drawn by the clock tower's bell. The Hat team praised her perfect strategy profusely. Big sister, your idea is truly brilliant. From now on, every day at exactly 12 noon will be a good opportunity for us to gather supplies. Big sister didn't believe they would be lured away so easily forever. This method might not work indefinitely. She didn't want to waste too much precious time. All right, let's make the most of our time. We only have 2 minutes to gather supplies. Take as much as you can. The ground shook, making the car sway as if there were an earthquake. He panicked and quickly turned his head to look. Big sister, something's wrong. It looks like trouble. A gigantic monster was kicking away the mutants. It was no different from the green giant. With one hand, it lifted a mutant into the air. The monster used its force to propel itself onto the clock tower, quickly clinging to the top of the tower to avoid falling. The monster roared fiercely and then stretched its 2 arms high into the air.
For some reason, it mercilessly smashed the clock tower. The magnificent tower now collapsed in an instant. Big Sister had revealed her latent power, transformed by mutation. Damn it, among these zombies there truly were some who had evolved intelligence. She truly dared not think about the future. Was there truly any hope left for humanity and civilization to endure? The clouds in the sky were still as white as cotton. Zhongguo sensed that another unstable situation was imminent. What's going on? The bell hadn't rung 12 times yet. Why did it stop? Something must have happened on the other side. The hope that had just flickered to life vanished in the blink of an eye. But he wouldn't allow himself to give up halfway. No, hope was still here, and moreover, it was true hope. It seemed Zhongguo had long placed all his hope in the new generation's youth, Lin Fan. Little Fan, even if the world collapses, with dangers on all sides, hope will persist from beginning to end. It's just that this hope always needs someone to discover it, someone to lead it, someone to amplify it, so that others can see or touch it. There's a great saying, with great power comes great responsibility. When each of us does anything, we cannot just care for ourselves without thinking of others. If we don't shoulder our responsibilities, then one day human society will also perish.
He trusted his leadership and his ability to handle all situations. The capacity of an individual is small and weak. It cannot be done by relying on just one person. Therefore, a skillful leader will be needed to gather the abilities and trust of each person, thereby becoming stronger. It seemed Lin Fan had become smarter, but he was still as naive as ever. Old Man Wang, I don't understand what you're saying. He blamed himself for being too subtle. How could I forget Little Fan's logical thinking? Talking to him like this definitely won't work. I need to change my approach so he can understand. Old man Zhongguo immediately gave an example to make it easier for him to understand. Little Fan, how about we do this? I know there's a real estate agency nearby. If you want to earn more money, why don't you take on a part-time job there? Grab some flyers and ask if anyone wants to move into our apartment complex. If there is, not only can you help those in need, but you can also earn a considerable amount in brokerage fees. Lin Fan's eyes visibly lit up. A part-time job, earning money. That's great. He immediately ran forward. Old man Wong, I'm going to work right now. Gui Fan still felt guilty. Old man, is it really okay to trick Little Fan like that? Old man Zhongguo maintained his view of striking while the iron is hot and teaching children from a young age. Why would I trick him? I've served in the military for so many years. Little Fan is the strongest person I've ever met, so strong that he doesn't even seem human. He looked up at the blue sky, implicitly affirming that perhaps Little Fan was humanity's last hope. The city's skyscrapers rose densely. Lin Fan suddenly turned his head to look. It turned out that the sound of a car engine had caught his attention. So cool, he thought to himself. A purple-haired man whom he had just met invited Lin Fan, even though they were complete strangers. Brother, get in the car and let's survive together. He gently declined the purple-haired man's invitation. Thanks, but no need. I'm working and I already have a place to stay. The purple-haired man stomped hard on the accelerator, as if to vent his anger. The car sped down the road, leaving Lin Fan watching behind. The blue-haired girl sitting in the car worried. Are we just going to leave him? The loud roar of the car will attract the zombies. If he stays there, he'll be in danger. But the purple-haired man didn't care. There's nothing to worry about. It's the apocalypse now. We can only help within our means. He's the one who refused us. He glanced at the rearview mirror. Judging that from their earlier conversation, he felt that kid had a problem. Just then, the mutated creatures found Lin Fan. The zombie's speed seemed much faster than before. 100 meters in 10 seconds? Lin Fan wondered in surprise. It felt like he could now run 100 meters in 9 seconds. He didn't want to have to exterminate them every day because it was too boring. How annoying. He was forced to start overtime, slaughtering boring zombies again. The mutated creatures couldn't affect his combat power. Lin Fan felt somewhat relieved now that he had finally dealt with these zombies, which were harder to deal with than before. Could they really be evolving? But luckily, with the system's help, he was also continuously getting stronger. It seemed he had just discovered something. The red text on the glass panel restarted Lin Fan's brain. SOS. He remembered that was a distress signal, right? Nini sat in a corner, not daring to move. Hang Zhen Yuan, apartment 1705, building 1. Dance streamer Yan Nini. I am a dance streamer, only 19 years old this year. I am proficient in folk dance, classical dance, and modern dance. There are many dancers, but no one can be more famous than me. It took her a long time to gather the courage to stand up. When the apocalypse struck, I froze, hiding in my house, not daring to go anywhere. Luckily, there was food in the house, and I ate little. That's why I've been able to hold on until now. On the 3rd day after the apocalypse struck, I heard knocking and voices outside the door. It was my agent, Liu Hong. But when I was about to open the door, I looked through the peephole and saw Liu Bing, Liu Hong's younger brother. I feel frustrated but helpless. Liu Bing lives with Liu Hong on the floor below me, doing nothing all day and loves to gamble. Before, I always had a feeling that whenever Liu Bin saw me, there was a strange look in his eyes. I know it's the apocalypse now. If Liu Bing wants to do something to me, the representative definitely won't stop him and might even help her brother. I'm in a state of extreme panic, which is why I haven't opened the door for the representative until now. No matter what she says, no matter how she tries to coax me, I still won't open it, fearing something bad might happen. But now my food has run out. Am I really going to starve to death here? At Hangdaming Yuan, 16th floor. Liu Meng continued to wait. He only wanted to possess Nini's body. He said to the person next to him, "Sis, that bitch Nini still won't open the door, huh? That bitch is really beautiful. Those legs, that waist, that butt. Sis, just seeing those parts, I can't hold back anymore." Liu Meng even brazenly tried to break in illegally. That damn anti-theft door was really sturdy. He tried to break it down, but couldn't. The old woman not only didn't dissuade him, but also abetted his despicable actions. She said,
It's all his fault. From the beginning, I told you not to be so straightforward. He's not afraid of anyone holding him accountable. The other person replied, Well, I figured the apocalypse is here, so why bother with those things?
Liu Meng suddenly stopped joking. Sister, don't say anything. It sounds like there's a noise outside. Ni became tense. Is it a zombie? He wouldn't dare to boldly step outside to check. I don't know. It could be a zombie, or it might not be. Let's just see how things develop. Someone approached and knocked on the door of room 1705. A voice echoed from outside. Excuse me, is anyone there? Causing Ni to be psychologically tormented and panic. Don't bother me, don't bother me. She quickly covered her ears tightly to stay calm. Here it comes again. That bastard Liu Ping is coming to my house again? I'm really about to break down. I want to go to the kitchen and get a knife to kill myself and get it over with, but that bastard definitely won't let me go. He'll seize the opportunity. So annoying, so troublesome. Why is this happening to me? Meanwhile, Lin Fan decided to go up and check the situation. Could it be that the people inside were in danger? He heard voices when everything fell silent, telling himself, I can't just sit here and wait to die anymore. Lin Fan's punch sent the iron door flying. He hadn't even had a chance to explain when he saw Ni, who already had a knife ready in her hand for self-defense. Lin Fan gently advised her, Don't be tense. Ni replied, Don't be tense? Breaking down a stranger's door in the apocalypse and you tell me not to be tense?
Who would have thought Lin Fan was a fan of Nini? Wait, she's the dance streamer Nini. When I watched her live stream, I even donated 100 yuan. Before, I always watched for free and never sent any gifts, but she dances beautifully. She misunderstood his intentions and wanted to leave with her dignity intact. Don't come any closer. If you dare move one step, I'll die right in front of you. I'll make sure you can't have me. Nini, drawing from her experience watching movies, made the situation even more dramatic. Before, my best friend and I watched a movie from an island nation in our school dorm. The movie was about a girl who was captured, tortured, played with all day, and eventually trained like a dog. Back then, I thought movies were too fake. How could something like that ever happen? But now I realize that people can truly do such horrible things. No matter what, I absolutely don't want to end up like that. Lin Fan raised his hands in surrender to show his good intentions. I don't have any ill intentions. My name is Lin Fan, and I'm a rental agent. I was passing by here and saw a distress signal written on your window, so I specifically came to check it out. As for the door, I'm truly sorry. I knocked but got no answer, and I thought something might have happened to you inside, so I had no choice but to do that. She herself didn't know whether to trust him or not.
The broker received a distress signal indicating trouble, but more importantly, a single punch had smashed through the anti-theft door. Is this something a human can really do? Lin Fan secretly rejoiced in his heart. Yes, 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 that's exactly the expression. She had begun to suspect. This proved her psychological guard was slowly letting down. I must seize the opportunity to conquer, no, persuade her. Afterward, he feigned nonchalance, pulled out a flyer, and said casually, I swear to God, I really just came to look. Taking the opportunity to market properties, he added, I see your current living situation doesn't seem to be very good. Have you considered moving somewhere else? If you're thinking of moving, I'd like to introduce the Yanggang apartment complex. Although it's an old building complex, under my management, the environment here is quiet, clean, safe, and reliable. The tenants there are all elites in their respective fields. There are doctors, teachers, soldiers with glorious achievements, veterans in the military industry, and even internet repair technicians. He took the opportunity to advertise everything he had. On the ground floor of the complex, there are complete fitness facilities, and there's even a plot of land that I personally cultivated. As he spoke, his face gradually became tense. More importantly, the prices in the complex are extremely affordable, which left her bewildered and so frightened that she dared not utter a single word in the face of this level of insanity.
Yet, Lin Fan believed he had successfully persuaded the other person. Her face had changed, gradually shifting from initial fear to surprise and bewilderment. This proved she was stunned, beginning to lower her guard and gradually accepting his presence. Then he cheerfully continued, Given the circumstances, I understand your fear. A beautiful girl like you must find it very difficult to face the current perilous situation. It's just that in this world, there are always sincere hearts. We should strive to move towards a brighter place. Then he gently extended his hand, pleading, Come on, put the knife down, then throw it aside. I'll give you that paper. Read the flyer carefully. Perhaps you'll get an idea. And so Nini complied, but her brain had stopped functioning. Suddenly she snapped back to reality, looking straight into his eyes and asking, Wait, who exactly are you? Lin Fan immediately replied kindly,
Didn't I just tell you? My name is Lin Fan, an employee of Sin Fang Real Estate Agency, specializing in property marketing. If you're dissatisfied with your current living environment, you can come to Yangguang Apartment Complex. He gestured towards the sofa like a true real estate agent. Come on, let's sit down and I'll give you a detailed introduction. He secretly rejoiced. Excellent. Entering the house means her tacit agreement.
Then he explained some of the benefits of renting with him. Take a look at the layout of this apartment. Apartment 504, Building 1, has 2 bedrooms, a spacious 60-meter-square living room, and costs around 1,500 yuan per month in rent, with convenient elevator access. But I think since you're a girl and a streamer that you must have a lot of clothes. Therefore, I recommend apartment 703, Unit 2, Building 2. This apartment is quite spacious, and I'm sure it would suit you very well. At this point, Lin Fan hesitated slightly. The previous tenant of this apartment was also a girl, and her lease had just expired a few days ago. It was then that Ni finally spoke. "Are you out of your mind?" which made Lin Fan a bit annoyed. "I was kindly recommending it to you," Lin Fan said. "Why are you insulting me? If you don't want to rent it, you can just tell me directly, can't you?" Having said that, Lin Fan brushed off his clothes and started to leave, but Ni pulled him back. "Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, Ni said hastily. Then Lin Fan reluctantly let it go. "All right, I accept your apology." However, Ni still hesitated slightly. "Well, I just want to confirm something. Are you always like this? I mean, this rather unusual demeanor," she added once more. "Don't misunderstand. I didn't mean to insult you. I just—" But immediately, Lin Fan snapped back angrily. "Aren't you the abnormal ones?"
Everyone assumes that once the apocalypse arrives, they no longer need to adhere to the existing order. But isn't it precisely this perception that makes the world increasingly difficult? In the time of the apocalypse, the most terrifying thing is not zombies, but human nature. As for me, I always adhere to the existing order, living normally as before, because I have the ability to do so. This made Ni break out in a sweat, choosing to trust rather than not. Although he's a bit strange, everything he says makes sense. Is he pretending to be foolish? Is it because he pretends to be a madman that people don't guard against him? Whatever, the door has been destroyed. Staying here will surely lead to death. I must leave this place. At this moment, Lin Fan smiled again and repeated, "So do you need to rent a house?" Ni immediately agreed. "I'll rent it. I'll rent the one you mentioned." Lin Fan chuckled after hearing this. "All right, then you should pack up a bit." Ni was confused. "Pack up?" He nodded. "That's right. You need to change your residence. Don't you need to bring your belongings? For example, important things can still be deposited in the bank. Don't forget them. If you have cash, take it with you. The house you're renting is 1,800 yuan a month." This made her, who was already in a daze, even more bewildered now. She only dared to think, but not to speak.
Big brother, I just want to leave here. What's the use of money anymore? I can't tell if he's faking it or genuinely sick. 10 minutes later, Ni actually did as Lin Fan said. He asked, "Are you all packed? Is this all you have?" She put on a jacket covering her large grapefruits and replied, "Yes, this is all." "Oh, right, there are also survivors downstairs. They're very dangerous. I'm afraid it will be difficult for us to leave." Lin Fan chuckled. "It's fine. I'm very capable." After hearing him, she found it reasonable. Capable? It seems so. He even managed to punch through an anti-theft door. Just as they reached the door, a man suddenly appeared, causing her expression to fall, utterly terrified. The man, Lu Meng, held a meat cleaver, pointing at them. Ni, where are you going, you bastard? You better hand her over to me and then get lost, otherwise I'll make you regret it." However, Lin Fan just stood there, smirking, which made him even more furious. "Damn it, what are you laughing at?" Lin Fan chuckled softly and said, "Sorry, I don't usually laugh, unless I can't help it. May I be so bold as to ask, how do you intend to make me regret it?" After speaking, Lin Fan aggressively snatched the knife from his hand, making him recoil.
His face pale, thought to himself. I was holding the knife, intending to threaten him so he would let Nini stay. Unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye, before he could react, the knife in his hand was snatched away by him. Is this even scientific? At this moment, Lin Fan, whether feigning madness or truly mad, uttered a sentence that resonated deeply with everyone. Do you know that holding a knife is a very dangerous act? Holding a knife to threaten others, even if it hasn't caused personal injury, is still an act contrary to the law on administrative penalties for security violations.
I hope you realize that what you did was wrong, which made Nini gape in astonishment once again, let alone that guy Lu Meng. After speaking, Lin Fan immediately returned the knife to its owner. Here, take it. Don't do wrong things anymore. Oh, right, if you swing the knife at me, I will defend myself. At that point, things will get more complicated. This left the young man bewildered, not understanding what was truly happening, and unsure of what to do. Just as both were in a daze, another woman entered from outside. Nini immediately recognized Lu Hong. Ever since becoming an internet idol, she had made Lu Hong her agent. From a comfortable life before to earning millions of yuan each year, Nini even considered her a sister. But she, in these times, had become a stranger, even wanting to help her brother humiliate Nini.
A few seconds later, Lin Fan calmly said, "Let's go." Immediately, Liu Meng pulled him back. "Stop." Lin Fan, with a cool indifference bordering on a dangerous wildness, asked, "What's the matter?" Liu Meng thought to himself hesitantly, "This girl has been making me restless for too long. I can't let her go so easily." He then blurted out, "You're only taking her because you desire her body, aren't you?" Lin Fan replied, annoyed, "Your words are offensive. You show no respect for women at all." Then Liu Meng turned his words to the girl. "Yan Ni, you need to think carefully. If you stay here, there's only one man, me. But if you leave with him, who knows how many men there will be? It could be a few, it could be dozens. Fat ones, short ones, ugly ones, all kinds will take turns making your life a living hell. Can you imagine that scene? This is the apocalypse now. There's no law, no morality, no one will value you. Staying here is your best option, because you only have to deal with one person." Hearing that, Yan Ni quickly moved to hide behind Lin Fan, saying, "Don't use your pathetic words to try and manipulate me anymore. Liu Bing, stop dreaming. Even if I die, I won't stay here." This made Liu Bing even more furious. "Damn it, it's all that guy's fault. Otherwise, I could have claimed Yan Ni for myself.
Getting my knife snatched just now must be because I wasn't paying attention. Otherwise, that situation wouldn't have happened. Yes, that's definitely it." Then he furiously charged forward to attack. "Damn it, I'll hack you to death." Nini could only stand behind, calling out, as she was essentially helpless, "Be careful." Liu Hong was still standing there, waiting for an opportunity. Yan Nini was stunned with fright, telling herself, "I just need to seize the right moment to help my brother deal with that man." However, before she could plan anything, she saw her brother being thrown back, his entire body slammed hard and pinned against the wall, looking utterly pathetic. "Brother!" Then Lin Fan casually said, "Pretty spectacular, isn't it? It has nothing to do with me. I was just defending myself." Yan Nini felt that this person was truly impressive. He was incredibly powerful, and just in a blink of an eye, Liu Bing had been defeated. After everything was done, Lin Fan dusted his hands and left. "Let's go. Just let those two siblings have their tearful reunion." The further they went down, the more confused Nini felt, so she asked, "Did you kill all these zombies?" He nodded as if it were obvious. "Yes, when I arrived, these zombies were lurking around here. Then they charged at me, so I had no choice but to defend myself." The more she looked, the more her mouth uncontrollably mumbled, "This is terrifying."
Then she exclaimed, "Can I just confirm something? What exactly do you do for a living?" Lin Fan said impatiently, "I've already told you, I'm an employee of Sin Fang brokerage firm." She thought to herself, "Is he really just a real estate agent? Why does this feel like a short film plot? A seemingly ordinary job, but behind it is a hidden grand elder." Then she continued to ask, "Have you always been like this when you're out?" He answered all of Nini's questions. "That's right, and with this world descending, many things have become inconvenient. I need to earn money to support myself. I may look like a real estate agent, but my actual job is a security guard, and I usually maintain order in the residential area. Old man Wang, who just moved into the community, even paid me for it." Nini was puzzled. "A security guard? You said your main job is a security guard?" He chuckled faintly. "That's right. What's wrong? Why are you so agitated?" She continued to ask, "You're not also doing some delivery jobs, are you?" He immediately replied, "No, but I do run errands for the survivors, just to earn a little extra income." After her inquiry, Nini quickly came to a conclusion. It all fits. It all fits. Everything fits. Broker, security guard, running errands, these are all the superficial professions of the Dragon King. Excellent. I've accidentally latched onto him. What incredible luck.
The girl couldn't help but burst out laughing, which made Lin Fan get the wrong idea. He thought to himself, "What a pity. How could such a nice girl be an idiot?" At this moment, his grandfather came out to greet him. "Little Fan is back." Lin Fan replied, "Yes." His grandfather chuckled, placing a hand on his shoulder. "That's more like it, little Fan. You finally come to your senses. Young people should socialize a lot with pretty girls. If you wait until you're old to socialize, you won't have the guts anymore."
Seeing Lin Fan look confused, his grandfather immediately whispered into his ear, "This kid, honestly. Just imagine, if you get old like us, what would the scene be like when you socialize with young girls then?" The image of Lin Fan in his old age gradually appeared in his mind. Old Lin Fan said, "Girl, let's get to know each other." The girl shyly refused. "Grandpa, I'm still young, but you're almost done for. It wouldn't work." Then Lin Fan, in his imagination, added another line, "I have a living allowance." Thinking of this, Lin Fan immediately felt a chill down his spine. He quickly asked his grandfather, "Grandpa, what are you talking about?" A moment later, his mother's voice echoed from inside, "Lin Fan, my brother, come quickly to eat." After that, Lin Fan stepped forward to introduce the two parties. "Miss Yan, let me introduce you to Sister Li Mei. Her skills are top-notch. And this is her daughter, Fei Fei." Seeing this, Fei Fei politely greeted, "Hello, Miss Yan. My name is Fei Fei. You're really beautiful. Uncle Lin definitely likes you a lot."
That made her blush, and she quickly patted little Fei Fei's head as a formality. Fei Fei was also very adorable. Next, Lin Fan turned her attention to the father and daughter. This is Chen He, and this is his daughter Ding Ding. Mr. Chen is an incredibly skilled internet network repair specialist. She happily greeted them. "Hello, Mr. Chen. Hello, Ding Ding." After that, she moved on to the group of elderly people. The four elders here were Mr. Wang Jiangguo, Mr. Chu Aijun, Mrs. Liang Yan, and Mrs. Su Guifen, respectively. They were all extremely impressive seniors. She politely greeted them. "Hello, everyone." They all cheerfully welcomed the new member. One person said, "Yes, what a good granddaughter." Another added, "Yes, little Fan truly has a keen eye." This made her ears and the back of her neck turn red. Once that was done, the little mother urged, "All right, everyone, all right, quickly sit down and eat." Fei Fei was the first to sit down, looking very excited. Time to eat. At this moment, the table was filled with dishes made from garden-fresh ingredients. As soon as she took a bite, she couldn't stop praising, "Sister Li, your culinary skills are top-notch." The little mother chuckled upon hearing this. "If you like it, eat plenty." In the end times, many things are hard to find, but to have rice and soup like we're eating now, I think that's already a blessing. That made her feel more at ease.
It seems my gamble paid off. It's hard to believe that even in this apocalypse, there's still such a warm and cozy scene of happiness. Perhaps it was divine providence that brought Lin Fan to my place, leading me here. At this moment, Zhang Guo, curious, asked, "Kid, how did you manage your water supply where you lived before? Don't misunderstand. I'm an old soldier, a retired serviceman. I know that in harsh environments, water is the most crucial thing. So I'm just curious." The girl replied, "Sir, the tap water is drinkable. Before, I was also afraid that zombies might have fallen into the water treatment plant, wondering if it would contaminate the water source. But then I got too thirsty and drank the tap water, and it turned out there were no problems at all." At the same time, Chen He interjected, "All this time we haven't dared to drink tap water, relying entirely on Lin Fan to bring back purified water. I never expected the water from the water treatment plant to still be so clean. Perhaps zombies haven't fallen into the water source yet, so it's not contaminated. Or perhaps they have fallen in, but don't cause infection. If it's the latter, then this is welcome news for survivors like us." However, Zhang Guo thought differently. The issues he was pondering were not merely these simple matters. As far as he knew, water at the plant, water pumped from the river, needed to undergo treatment processes. Otherwise, the water delivered to each household would be dirty and turbid.
Earlier, he had checked the water flowing from the tap and found it crystal clear. He suspected that there was a survivor at the water treatment plant who was still managing the water supply, which was why the tap water was still clean. At this moment, Aijun also interjected into the conversation with interest. "It seems there really is a survivor at the water treatment plant, processing clean water for us. Someone like that shouldn't be wasted staying there. One day, their food might run out, and I'm afraid they'll just die there." Then, Lin Fan once again stepped forward. "I'll go check it out later. I know where the water treatment plant is." Hearing this, Ni immediately worried about him. "But won't it be dangerous?" Lin Fan said, stuffing food into his mouth. "No danger. Even if there is, I'll still go check. I don't know how things are operating there, but the relationship between water and us is very important. For that survivor to still be able to maintain the water supply in such a dangerous situation is truly remarkable. Someone like that shouldn't remain in danger forever. At least he should get to eat some delicious food." After quickly devouring a few bowls, Lin Fan stood up. "All right, I'm done eating. Now I'll head to the water treatment plant to check it out. Does anyone need anything bought? I'll run errands for you. Old rule, errand fee is 100 yuan. Then, everyone came forward and pressed money into his hand. "Little Fan, please buy this for me. Lin Fan, my brother, could you please buy this for me?"
At this moment, Ni wondered and asked Mr. Zonghua,
Sir, is Lin Fan a super warrior? He gave a faint smile and tactfully replied, Little girl, you must comprehend matters of this nature yourself. Scene changed to Hong family water plant. In the plant's management office, a man was sitting listlessly on a chair. The fact that eating, drinking, and personal hygiene could only be handled in here had made the room's environment increasingly worse. With dark circles under his eyes and pale lips, that person was Wang Kai, the water plant manager. At this moment, he stared blankly at his dog. Guzi, I think I might not be able to hold on much longer. My mental state isn't good. I look at the closed door, and I always feel like it's glowing. It's as if I open the door, I can see the light outside. I'm a normal person. I really am a normal person. I can't do it. I really can't do it. I really want to crawl through the water pipes and leave. That place, far from the city, surely has no zombies. But if I leave, what will the survivors in the city do? Won't they no longer have the necessary water source to live? You also think I should continue to stay here and struggle on, right? A moment later, a music player was tied to Guzi's body. Oh dear, what's the skill, and who's to judge? Then it quickly ran outside, dragging a horde of zombies along with it.
Because of this, Wang Kai has only just now been forced to survive on dog food to make it to this day. I really can't hold on any longer, but I have to regularly check the water plant's equipment. Otherwise, the city's water supply will be cut off, and the survivors will be driven to desperation. Fortunately, I still have my dog for companionship. I tied my phone to its body, asking it to lure the zombies away. I took that opportunity to go out and check the equipment. If even a dog makes such an effort to help humans, then as a human, I certainly cannot give up easily. At the same time, the dog, following its owner's instructions, ran for its life as far away as possible. Suddenly, it noticed something extremely unusual. It turned out to be a speed-type evolved zombie that was also leisurely trailing it. Seeing this, the dog was utterly terrified and ran as far away as it could. But when it reached a dead end, it could only huddle in a corner, waiting for death. Just then, a familiar bicycle was cruising down the road and stopped right at the dog's corner. Lin Fan stared blankly at the strange zombie, then cheerfully waved at it. Hello! Immediately, the other party, the zombie, shifted its attention from the dog to Lin Fan, growling incessantly, which made him too annoyed to speak. Don't get agitated, I don't mean you any harm. He said that, but his hand reached for the sword on his back.
But if you lay a hand on me, I'll defend myself. Having said that, he immediately eliminated the high-grade zombie with ease. Suddenly, a crystal appeared from within it, and his sword simultaneously absorbed it. Lin Fan annoyedly flicked his sword. I told you not to attack me. This is very dangerous. At this moment, the dog he had rescued happily walked over, as if he were its owner. Seeing this, he bent down and petted its head. What a lovely dog. Come on, can you lead me to find survivors here? Then it led him to Wang Kai's location. As they walked, he helped it clear away some unnecessary filth around them. Lin Fan was secretly pleased, truly a smart dog. However, upon arrival, there was no one in sight. The dog was now quite anxious, impatiently wagging its tail, running from one spot to another, then stopping in front of him. He bent down and petted its head. All right, I'll go with you. You lead the way. Scene change. In the decontamination room, Wang Kai slumped down, utterly exhausted. Damn it, what bad luck. This time, I was discovered by zombies before I even finished checking the equipment. I wonder how the good dog is doing. He clutched his head. What should I do? There are still zombies outside. It would be very dangerous for me to go out now. But if I don't go back to the previous room, no one will open the door for the little guy later. Then it will surely die. What should I do? What should I do? What on earth should I do?
Suddenly, Wang Kai heard his pet dog barking. He quickly calmed himself. A good dog? No way, a good dog wouldn't appear here. It must be a hallucination. Suddenly, a voice echoed. Excuse me, is anyone inside? Wang Kai immediately pressed himself against the side. Someone outside? Could my hallucinations really be this severe? Unexpectedly, Lin Fan burst through the door from the inside. He walked over, flashing an industrial smile at Wang Kai. Hello, I'm Lin Fan, the security guard, real estate agent, and errand runner for Yongguang apartment complex. I'm a good person. I'm not here with any ill intentions, just looking for survivors. This made Wang Kai cry his eyes out. Oh my god, it really is a hallucination. How could anyone possibly get here? Even if someone did get here, how could it be some kind of security guard? It's definitely a hallucination. I'm done for. The zombies must have broken in, and I'm still stuck in this hallucination. My life is over. Everything is ruined.
Seeing Wang Kai's poor complexion, Lin Fan immediately bent down to comfort him.
Don't be afraid. I'm here to pick you up. You're safe now. Wang Kai asked blankly, Is this real? It's not an illusion, Lin Fan replied. Then Wang Kai burst into tears, hugging Lin Fan tightly. Finally, someone has come to save me. I thought everyone had forgotten about me. Lin Fan accepted the hug, thinking to himself, the one who gathers firewood to warm the community cannot be allowed to freeze to death in the ice and snow. You are this city's hero. I'm sorry, I came too late. A moment later, Lin Fan took Wang Kai and the puppy home, even giving them both hot rice. Wang Kai ate heartily, exclaiming, It's so delicious. Before, I could only eat dog food. I ate it until I felt nauseous. Ding Ding, seeing Wang Kai's complexion, asked Fei Fei, Sister Fei Fei, has this uncle never eaten rice before? Fei Fei replied, Ding Ding, I think this uncle must be the reincarnation of white rice. He loves white rice so much. Ding Ding exclaimed, Oh, so that's how it is. Lin Fan leaned down and quietly asked Fei Fei, Fei Fei, shouldn't Ding Ding be older than you? Why does she call you sister? Fei Fei immediately explained, During this time I've got her under my thumb. Calling me sister isn't too much to ask, is it? At this moment, the dog below kept worrying about Wang Kai. Why does Master look so hungry? Didn't he happily eat dog food with me this morning?
After finishing a bowl, Wang Kai felt a little guilty. Sorry, I was too hungry, so I ate a bit too much. Little Mother replied with a faint smile. It's okay. Being able to eat is a blessing. It's just that you arrived unexpectedly, so I didn't have time to cook. Don't take it to heart. At the same time, Zhang Guo walked over, placed a hand on his shoulder, and praised him profusely. You've done very well. All this time at the water plant, the clean water that I and everyone else uses is thanks to your efforts. Wang Kai felt a little embarrassed. You're overstating it, sir. I'm an employee of the water plant. This is my job responsibility. Being trapped there with nothing else to do, I just did what I could. It's not worth mentioning. Seeing this, Mr. Zhang Guo also smiled. Well said about your job responsibility. That job responsibility you so casually mentioned saved the lives of the survivors. When disaster strikes, water is the most important thing. Without water, it's very difficult for anyone to continue living. At this point, Lin Fan spoke up. Do you want to move to Yangguang apartment complex? I'm a part-time employee at Xinfeng Real Estate Company. If you want to move to Yangguang apartment complex, I can find a place for you. This made Wang Kai freeze. Then Zhang Guo immediately explained to him, Little Fan means that if you want to live here, she can help you find a place. Currently, Little Fan is an employee of Xinfeng Real Estate Company.
It's specifically for rent, and the rent isn't expensive, only about 1,600–1,700 yuan a month. Even though business is difficult these days, paying rent is the perfectly normal thing, do you understand? However, Wang Kai was still completely blank. I think I understand, but then again, I don't. Then the young woman explained again.
However, Wang Kai was still back to square one. Actually, I still don't understand. Zhang Guo placed a hand on his shoulder. Young man, you look very ordinary, just like any normal young person who will sometimes feel fear, but when faced with trouble, can bravely step forward. This made him very fond of Wang Kai, causing Wang Kai to feel awkward and rub his bald head. Is he praising me? As he spoke, his face immediately grew somber, making him involuntarily recall his youth. That year, while fighting in the war, there was a comrade who usually appeared cowardly and spoke effeminately, but at the crucial moment, he dared to carry a satchel of explosives to blow up a tank. This was something he hadn't anticipated at the time. Later, he came to understand that for a person to be truly complete, they must possess fear, courage, and all sorts of less-than-shining characteristics.
At the critical moment, the courage they displayed was truly unimaginable. Hearing this, Wang Kai gradually understood. He finally realized that the old man was a master of life here. Meanwhile, Lin Fan walked over, acting like a real estate agent. I have an apartment I can recommend to you. It's on the 5th floor, Unit 504. The rent is 1,400 yuan per month, and the price is very reasonable. Do you want to pay cash or by card? He said cheerfully, cash or card, either is fine. This gave Wang Kai a headache, as he thought to himself, my benefactor, even though you don't seem quite normal, I really want to cooperate with you, but in this apocalypse, I truly have no money. I'll wait for Zhang Guo to come and help me out first. The old man said, all right, you're still young and not settling down with a wife to manage your money, just frittering it away on small things. Little Fan, just deduct his rent from my card. He can pay me back when he gets his salary. It just so happens he also has a job waiting for the factory to pay him. This made Wang Kai's eyes light up again. Salary? Old man, it's the apocalypse now. Where would a salary come from? After this thought, Wang Kai suddenly remembered and asked, that's right, Brother Fan, do you have a way to deal with zombies? Lin Fan confidently pointed at himself. That's right, I'm very strong. They all know it.
Seeing this, Zhongguo quickly gave Wang Kai a subtle signal, nodding repeatedly.
He turned to the others, seeing everyone nodding frantically. They even thought it wasn't just strength, but a perversion. Suddenly, Wang Kai knelt before Lin Fan, pleading. Brother Fan, I have a request. The water plant needs someone to inspect it daily, otherwise problems can easily arise. For example, the water could become turbid, full of mud and dirt. I definitely can't go by myself. So I was thinking, if Brother Fan is confident in dealing with zombies, could you accompany me to the water plant once every noon? He yawned widely and replied, No problem. If there's nothing else, I'll head back to my room first. Everyone, feel free to continue talking. After that, he left, leaving Wang Kai with many questions in his heart. Grandpa, I have a question. Who exactly is Brother Fan? I think he's like a superhero. Zhongguo replied, When every era reaches its most dangerous point, heroes will emerge. That boy is a hero, and you are also a hero. As for who that boy is, it doesn't matter. Heroes don't question origins. We only need to know that Yangguang apartment complex is our refuge, and also the beginning of our hope. Everyone, let's work together, strive to make the apartment complex better, and spread hope outwards.
This is not only what we want, but also what Little Fan wants. He nodded in silent understanding. In the evening at the desert base, data from Dragon Palace Base and Hengan Base was received and compiled in detail. Dragon Palace Base had hunted and killed a mutated zombie and extracted the crystal from its head. However, after numerous experiments, no effects were discovered. A soldier voluntarily offered to swallow the crystal to conduct data research, but the results were far from ideal. The scene when the crystal was swallowed into the body showed flesh and blood fusing, the swallower undergoing transformation, and blood boiling within the body. Finally, after just 3 minutes, the person died from excessive blood loss. This proved that swallowing the crystal was a mistake and useless. She gently adjusted her glasses and continued, With humanity's current physical state, we cannot contend with the crystal. I have compiled information on the types of zombies encountered by Dragon Palace Base and Hengan Base. Please take a look, professors. This zombie was confirmed to be a strength-type zombie, possessing immense explosive power. According to tests by Hengan Base, strength-type zombies can easily overturn a 2-ton vehicle. Their muscle density is very high, meaning ordinary bullets can only damage the outer layer of tissue without causing significant harm. Even a direct shot to the head would only tear through flesh, unable to damage the bones.
This is a speed-type zombie, specializing in speed and climbing, with large, flexible limbs. Its maximum running speed reaches 150 kilometers per hour, faster than a cheetah, the fastest land animal. What's even more terrifying is that the running speed of this type of zombie will not decrease due to physical exhaustion or failing body parts. Once encountered, there is virtually no chance of survival. This is a screamer-type zombie, capable of emitting a 120 decibel scream, causing symptoms such as pain, unconsciousness, and nausea in humans. Furthermore, the scream's effective range is wider than we think, capable of attracting surrounding zombies. According to intelligence, this type of zombie was discovered a few days ago. Preliminary checks showed they could emit 100 decibels, but in just a few short days, this has increased by 20 decibels. At this rate of growth, reaching 160 decibels will not be far off. Once they reach this threshold, they could rupture human eardrums. This type of zombie is more dangerous than the previous 2 types. After hearing this, the professor felt a bit disheartened. Given this situation, we still haven't found a way to deal with the zombies. Among the zombie horde, countless terrifying types have emerged. Does humanity truly still have hope?
Even the person next to him had to agree. Is that true? Do we really still have hope? How much longer can those lucky survivors last? The story continues, but in a different place, with the remaining survivors. My name is Gu Hong, originally a soldier on leave to visit home. I had been in the army for 9 years, a third-rank officer. Who would have thought that the apocalypse would strike just a few days after I returned home? The zombies from the movies had truly appeared. In our current group, besides me, there are a total of 5 lucky survivors, 4 women, 1 man, and among them 1 girl is pregnant. The man is her husband. Originally, there were a few other survivors with us, but due to disagreements, we went our separate ways. Now, no one knows what has become of that other group. At this moment, a person with a gaunt face anxiously asked, Brother Gu, what's the situation like outside? Gu Hong shook his head. Not very good.
Then he turned to the pregnant woman and asked, "How are you doing, sister-in-law? Is your stomach still hurting?" Her husband replied, "It's much better, but it feels like she'll give birth in the next few days. I'm afraid I won't make it in time." Before he could finish, Gu Hong walked over, patted his shoulder, and reassured him, "Don't worry, I'm here." Yes, but Gu Hong thought differently. Besides saying that, he had no other way. Moreover, it was already the apocalypse. Going to a hospital to give birth was definitely out of the question, and giving birth here would be even more dangerous. If any sound was made, it would surely attract zombies.
Then Gu Hong quickly instructed them, "You guys wait for me here. I'm going out to find something." A girl immediately stood up anxiously. "Brother Gu, I'll go with you." Gu Hong refused. "No need, you stay here and take care of them. My physical condition is better than yours. If I encounter danger, I can climb away." The girl reluctantly sat down. "All right, then you must be careful too." Gu Hong nodded. "I'll be careful. If I encounter zombies, I'll run immediately." The girl immediately said, "No, I don't mean zombies." Gu Hong was puzzled. "Not zombies?" The girl said, "Brother Gu, haven't you heard? Lately, survivors around here have been buzzing about the legend of a lone person, a single sword in the apocalypse, a tale that would shock you with its every detail." "Apocalypse legend?" Gu Hong asked. The girl recounted, "They say that on streets full of zombies, there's always a figure carrying a sword, roaming through the streets. Everyone says he is the ever-blooming ivy, the immortal apocalypse specter of the Huang family, which makes you even more confused. Immortal ivy? Apocalypse specter? What kind of nonsense is this? These keywords have nothing to do with each other. How are they even put together?" Gu Hong muttered.
Meanwhile, in the cozy neighborhood on the other side, Zhang Guo saw him and quickly asked, "Little Fan, are you very busy today?" He calmly replied, "I patrolled the apartment complex, cleaned the store with Wang Kai, and went to the water plant. In the afternoon, I still have to continue working as a broker." That made him laugh. "You're really busy. In this whole neighborhood, or everywhere, only Little Fan is the busiest. Perhaps he truly is humanity's last hope." At the same time, Lian Yan was diligently teaching two young children. "You two, look, this problem should be done like this, then like this." On the other side, the young mother was also happily helping everyone. "Mrs. Shu, let me help you." She chuckled in response. "We're short-handed right now. It's great if you can help." On the other side, Ni had just finished a running session. As soon as she saw him, she paused. "Brother Fan." Yan Ni frowned. "Brother Fan, don't be so distant with me. You can call me Xiao Yan or Nini. My friends all call me that." Lin Fan nodded, but his response was non-committal. "Okay." This left Yan Ni speechless. At this point, they walked and talked. "Brother Fan, Mr. Wang often tells us that hope is still here. The Huang family will return to being as lively as before. Do you think that's true?" He asked back, "Do you think it's true?" Ni smiled faintly, looking into his eyes.
"If I hadn't met everyone, I wouldn't have believed it, but now I do." He chuckled along after hearing that. "You already have the answer, and you have faith. As long as you pursue that faith, you will surely succeed." Suddenly, Nini had a question that she had always kept in her heart, and only today did she have the chance to voice it. "Brother Fan, why do you always think about going out to work and earn money like that? I know there are many people outside harming each other, just taking things whenever they see them." He replied, "I'm afraid that once the light of justice shines, it will be too late to fix things." She thought to herself, "Beyond repair, so Brother Fan is truly planning for the future. Now I somewhat believe what Mr. Wang said. Perhaps Brother Fan truly is the hope of humanity." After that, Nini immediately changed the subject. "Brother Fan, do you have a girlfriend yet?" Lin Fan replied indifferently, "No." Seizing the opportunity, Nini quickly took it. "I don't have a boyfriend either. Have you never thought about dating?" However, Lin Fan was very firm and flatly refused. This made Nini's face turn pale. Was I rejected? Then she quickly asked, "Why?" Lin Fan then concluded with a sentence that she couldn't stand. "I'm still young. I'm only 20 years old." After that, he quickly left. "All right, I'm not talking to you anymore. I have to go clear out the zombies nearby. As long as I keep trying, I can definitely clear out the surrounding shops, and then expand the work to this entire area. The Huang family area will definitely be clean." Suddenly, Nini implicitly understood the profound intention behind it. The Huang family would definitely be able to clear their name. I understand now. Brother Fan isn't trying to reject me, but rather he's telling me that the apocalypse is chaotic. How can one think about starting a family? My vision was too narrow. It turns out Brother Fan has such grand ambitions in his heart. After the conversation was over, Lin Fan immediately rushed out. And it was still that naive Su Sha, looking down every day to observe the situation. Who exactly is he? Why isn't he afraid of zombies? Why can he walk around on the street unharmed?
Is there some rule for avoiding zombies? At this moment, Lin Fan also looked back in her direction. Is she observing me? I wonder if she has recovered. Mentally, it's very difficult to treat with medicine. One always has to rely on self-regulation. Never mind, I should still go clear out the zombies in the shops around here. Seeing Lin Fan's actions, Su Sha suddenly snapped awake. He's drawn his sword. Oh no, it's over. It's really over. Could it be that he finally couldn't suppress the desires in his heart and is preparing to lay hands on me?
Suddenly, he retracted his sword. Oh right, there was this thing I almost forgot. Then he flashed an innocent smile at her. I once promised to give you a smile every day, hoping my smile will touch your heart and help you recover soon. Those words made Su Sha Wang quickly squat down. Here we go again. He chuckled, his eyes fixed on her. That smile was lewd, despicable, perverse, twisted. He indeed had ill intentions towards her. Scene change. At that time, on Guahong's side, he was diligently rummaging for medicine for pregnant women. Where is the medicine I need to find, after all? Zombie movies are indeed all scams. With no staff, it's even hard for ordinary people like us to find essential medicine. Suddenly, a groan from a variant rang out, making his entire body stiffen. Guahong didn't act immediately, silently and carefully observing. It's a zombie. Although I've been in the military for many years, and my physical strength is definitely greater than an ordinary person's, facing a zombie unarmed, I'm not sure I can win. So he quickly slipped away to ensure his retreat. I must retreat quickly. As soon as the sluggish zombie slowly moved outside, Guahong immediately bolted from the area. Zombies are usually very sluggish when they haven't spotted their prey.
I'm not one of those idiots in movies who waits for zombies to appear, provokes their aggression, and then thinks about running away. Wouldn't it be better to run a second ahead of the zombies, leaving the zombie inside still bewildered, not understanding what's happening? Meanwhile, on another front, Lin Fan was also out looking for supplies. He casually grabbed a few zombies by the head and beat them to vent his frustration, muttering, "I told you not to do that, but you wouldn't listen. You kept trying to bite me, forcing me to defend myself." Suddenly, Lin Fan noticed something unusual. He felt his bone sword was sharper than usual, and there was an indescribable glow. Is it an illusion? He wondered. Then suddenly, many growls echoed from outside. Driven by his usual curiosity and craziness, Lin Fan poked his head out to see what was happening. He saw Gu Hong entrenched on a bus, surrounded by a horde of mutated creatures. Gu Hong silently wept a little to himself. What bad luck! I just escaped the zombies in the pharmacy, only to run into a horde of wandering zombies on the street. Am I destined to die here today? Then suddenly, Lin Fan innocently spoke up. Hello, are you in trouble? Gu Hong suddenly realized something strange. This person seemed to possess a unique aura, not one of wealth, nor of nobility, but an aura similar to that of the People's Army.
This kind of demeanor isn't something you develop after just a year or two in the military. Instead, it's the confident, resourceful aura gradually acquired from long years of service. The longer one stays in the military, the more pronounced this aura becomes. While not necessarily outstanding or unique, a careful observer can still tell that this passerby is distinctly different from ordinary people. I can feel that this person is very strong. Who knows, he might be able to save me. Thinking this, he pondered again. It's come to this. What am I still thinking about nonsense for? I can't drag him down because of myself. Then he shouted loudly, "Go, hurry up and go, leave me to escape on my own." However, Lin Fan lingered, cheerfully asking, "Do you need help?" This action gradually drew the attention of the zombies, who all turned their gaze towards Lin Fan, making Gu Hongsang turn pale. Damn it, why didn't he listen? I clearly warned him. If he had run away just now, he really could have escaped, because I had already attracted the zombies' attention. As long as no sound is made, zombies won't be attracted. At this moment, Lin Fan was still talking like a normal person, appearing somewhat crazy. You guys are making things very awkward for people. Public assault is a very outrageous act. Do you see this bone sword that no one cares about?
It's not a sword meant to slash you, but rather a self-defense sword. Suddenly, a chubby, squat zombie boy rushed forward first, stunning Guahong. He was about to meet its end along with it, when suddenly, with just one slash, Lin Fan sent the chubby, squat zombie boy back to its grandparents, simultaneously kicking it flying into a nearby wall. Guahong was so dumbfounded that his mouth hung open. How is that possible? Even the strongest person in the military couldn't kick a fat zombie weighing 80–85 kilograms that far. If that really happened, it could only be described as something from a wuxia world. But obviously, this wasn't a wuxia world. It was reality. At the same time, other zombies also gradually approached, lusting after Lin Fan. He coldly curled his lips. When language cannot stop your violent behavior, then I must use the bone of sorrow sword in my hand to enlighten you.
Hearing these words, Guo Hong's mouth fell open once again. Damn, what kind of cringy talk is that? After a frenzied period of butchery, Lin Fan then sheathed his sword and said a few words no one understood. The ground is dirty again. This is what I least want to see. How hard the sanitation workers have to work to clean this up. Guo Hong, still observing from above, couldn't believe his eyes.
Holy crap, he actually did it. Is this really something a human can do? He suddenly remembered. Wait a minute, a man with a sword, strolling alone on the streets. Then he rattled off a string of flowery, ornate words that people attributed to Lin Fan. Are you the never-withering ivy of the Huang family, the eternally immortal clown ghost? Lin Fan, puzzled, quickly jumped onto the bus, face to face with him, even though he didn't understand what he was saying, then cheerfully extended his hand to strike up a conversation. Hello, my name is Lin Fan. What's your name? Gu Hong was still stunned. On the roof of the bus, he just lightly jumped and got up there? Is he really human? At this moment, Lin Fan was just as bewildered as he was, only his thoughts were a bit more foolish. That's strange. He's clearly staring at me but not answering. Could he be deaf? I clearly heard him speak just now, so he must just be deaf, right? Not mute, right? Then he spoke up. I am Gu Hong. Lin Fan breathed a sigh of relief. You're not deaf. Then we can sort this out. I'm Lin Fan. I live in Yangguang District. He asked, Excuse me, how did you do that? Lin Fan was puzzled. Do what? Then Gu Hong explained. How did you so easily deal with those zombies?
Then Lin Fan raised his sword and asked, Do you see this simulation? A divine weapon from the demon god's beast world, a very powerful demonic sword. Gu Hong, feeling annoyed and unwilling to talk, changed the subject. Are you rescuing survivors? I work part-time at Sinfeng Zhongje. I'm a real estate agent looking for reliable residents. I saw you passing by here. You used to be a soldier, right? Gu Hong replied, I am currently an active duty soldier. I was on my way home to visit relatives when I encountered the situation. He thought to himself, in a short conversation, I felt that the way the mysterious young man in front of me spoke was truly strange. To be frank, it seems like there might be an intellectual problem, but this is just my own thought. Perhaps he's simply used to communicating this way. While he was deep in thought, Lin Fan suddenly suggested, Are you interested in moving to Yangguang District? Yangguang District has a good location, complete amenities nearby, very favorable prices, and the landlords living there are all very friendly. This offer made Gu Hong's face go blank. Yangguang District, not too far from here, he thought to himself. Does he mean there are other survivors there? That's right. Dressed like that, he must have gathered quite a few survivors. It seems he's not a bad person.
After that, I immediately agreed, nodding repeatedly. I've agreed to hire you, but I have a request for Lin Fan. There are still a few survivors at my place. If possible, I'd like to go back first and then bring them over to your side. Lin Fan casually replied, Okay, no problem. A moment later, Gu Hong came out of the house, leading a pregnant woman. Lin Fan, we're here. Lin Fan was a bit puzzled and asked, Is this your wife? Gu Hong shook his head. No, her name is Yang Hui. She's one of the survivors who gathered after the apocalypse. Hearing this, Lin Fan awkwardly asked, So where's her husband? Yang Hui then dropped a bombshell. He's dead. The answer made Lin Fan unable to contain himself, so he ran over and quietly asked Gu Hong, What exactly happened here? Gu Hong feigned a few coughs before replying, It all started during the day when I left our hiding place to go out and look for medicine. Not long after I left, Yang Hui and the others discovered another group of survivors. They were a well-prepared group. When they saw Yang Hui and her group asking for help, they actually came to assist. During the apocalypse, if people can unite, the chances of survival are very high. But who would have thought that when that group of survivors saw there was a pregnant woman, they immediately gave up on their intention, frankly stating that they couldn't take a pregnant woman with them.
If you want to leave, just go alone. I could understand the departure of the three men, but I absolutely never expected that Yang Hui's husband would also leave with them, completely disregarding his pregnant wife. When I returned, only Yang Hui was left. Lin Fan, you wouldn't think that a pregnant woman is a burden, would you? Lin Fan immediately replied with a cheerful laugh. Of course not, you two are my guests. Gu Hong breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that despite being betrayed by her husband, Yang Hui had found a silver lining in her misfortune. Suddenly, Yang Hui went into labor, clutching her belly and gritting her teeth, looking very much in pain. Gu Hong realized, is she about to give birth? At this moment, Lian Yan ran out from the apartment building. Let me see quickly. Gu Hong respectfully in a low voice said, This, Lian Yan urged, quickly bring her into the room. Lin Fan reassured them. Don't worry, Mrs. Su is an experienced military doctor with excellent medical skills. She will definitely find a way.
A moment later, Mrs. Su came out of the room, having prepared some instruments. She said, her cervix had started to dilate. She's probably about to give birth. The environment here is not good, and we lack instruments, making it extremely dangerous. All you men don't stay here anymore. Li Mai, Yanini, you two might have a tough time later. Please cooperate with me and Mrs. Lian. We'll just have to take a chance.
As soon as he heard it, Lin Fan quickly drew his sword. The dangers of home birth are undeniable. People aren't afraid of a myriad of things. They're only afraid that if childbirth was like walking around the gates of hell and they truly encounter danger, it would indeed be life-threatening. Seeing him leave, Mr. Wong couldn't help but ask, "Little Fan, where are you going?" He gave a faint smile. Childbirth is very painful. One needs to scream to gain strength. I'll go stand guard at the district gate. Just tell her it's okay. She can scream as much as she wants. I can hold the district gate steady. However, Gu Hong interjected, "That's very dangerous. We could actually move to a more secluded place." He immediately said, "Whether it's dangerous or not doesn't matter. A general once said that one must absolutely ensure sufficient time for a child to be born. I'll guard the door. Trying to create a safe environment is not a problem. We are facing the apocalypse, awaiting the emergence of hope, and that hope could be us." He pointed to the youngest children in the group, saying, "Hope is something we create together and will ultimately be for the children. When giving birth, attention must be paid to the environment, ensuring good air circulation will be fine. Furthermore, I am the security guard of Yangguanliang District, and I just received a salary of 5,000 a month. With this money, I must do things worthy of it."
At this point, she became curious and asked Mr. Wang, "Who is the general you're talking about?" She thought to herself, "I'm just someone eager to learn. If I don't understand, I ask." Then Mr. Wang chuckled and explained. During a battle, there was a female soldier about to give birth, with enemy forces hot on her heels. A general named Dong resolutely led his troops to fight the enemy to protect her. He ordered that they must buy time for the female soldier to give birth. In that battle, he led his soldiers to set up a defensive line about a kilometer away. They held their ground fiercely for several hours, waiting for the female soldier to finish giving birth. In that battle, many soldiers sacrificed their lives. Some people didn't understand, asking, "So many sacrifices just for one child?" Afterwards, some people doubted him. General Dong angrily asked, "Who do we shed our blood and make sacrifices for? Isn't it for the children? They are precisely the ones we need to protect. This is a battle that only our own people can understand. Foreigners cannot understand it."